Oh yeah. Hello everybody, we're back.
His homeboys.
How's everybody's week so far? I'm having a great week. I don't know about you guys, but
This guy's been stoned since the third grade.
anyways, we're back for another Erik Ferentinos Unleashed. Thank you to everybody who's back in the house tonight. We do this on a weekly basis, and I'm so happy you guys are here. I could see that we already got a lot of people in the chat. I should go over and say hello to everybody. What do we got going on tonight? We got Spicoli in the house again tonight. And, you know, if Spicoli's here...
I know that, dude.
Hey,
bud. Let's party.
I gotta throw him some love, right? Who else we got here tonight? Caribou. Well, see you the whole seat, but you'll only need the edge. Oh, okay. Yes, we'll sell you the whole seat. And I'm glad you're on the edge of your seat. Jaylee, Eric is the man with the 2026 master plan. Happy Friday, my friend. Is it Fireball Friday for you guys? I'll be honest. About 10 minutes ago, I was saying to myself, you know what? I'm going to do a sober show tonight. I just wasn't really feeling in the party mood, and I had in the description of the video tonight for the show, I had put that it's Fireball Friday. And that was kind of good in theory, but as the seconds were rolling down and we were about 20 seconds away, I just totally took a hit off the Fireball from last week. But you see, I do not have a drinking problem. That was the last time I drank any alcohol was with you guys, and I didn't even finish this. But just in case things rev up, there's a second one on deck. Are you guys drinking or no? I know we might have people that don't, and that's fine. You can do whatever you want. You don't have to do anything. You could have a cup of tea. That's fine too. As long as you're here to enjoy the laughter and the unity and some jokes along the way, then you're in the right place. But I've been busy. Last night, back in the studio for the new Pearcy record, and man, it left me just with an overall feeling of happiness to be involved with it. For people that don't know, I've been, recording records with this guy for a long time. I was pulling out some today because I was on the Hair Metal Guru's show. He's a very cool dude, and his podcast, the Hair Metal Guru podcast, is doing exceptionally well. And I told him that I appreciate what he's doing because, the music of the 80s is old. And, for reference, the age that it's been since it came out would be the equivalent to if we were back in the late 80s and somebody came up and said, hey, you want to listen to the Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy from Company C track? It's that old. And the fact that the music's endured this long is amazing. But we need people to speak highly, of the scene to keep it alive and go to the concerts, buy the music, watch the YouTube videos, all that. So I definitely gave him kudos on his success, and he's digging what I'm doing too. And we even talked about teaming up, perhaps for like some panel stuff. I'm all about it, as I've said many times. And Stephen Pearcy's the same way as well. We want all you guys to win. I want all you guys to win the lottery. I want you all to live a long, happy life. I want you all to drive fancy cars. No, whatever brings you happiness. I truly hope you all get it, and I wish the best for all of you. But yeah, I've been doing records for many years up at Matt's. Probably the most notable smash and View to a Thrill, which I have that too on vinyl. And we're about to do the next one. And so far, we're about 6 songs into it, as far as I mentioned before, just laying out like the first almost half of the record. Yesterday, it was my duty to accept the mission and go up and track some guitars. So we could actually like have Matt doing the guitar thing, because when I write the songs, I kind of do a demo, version of it, which it could, the guitars might be a little out of tune, or I'm just kind of writing it and I'm in a hurry just to kind of piece it together, and I don't really put all that much effort into making it totally perfect. It just has a vibe, and I kept it and made it a good composition. So eventually, it's better to have Matt's professional ears to like, hey, you need to tune your guitar, or we'll punch you in here or whatever, just to make it, as good as it can be. Um, I did grab a video like just before he came on. I'm not even sure exactly which one this is, but we'll check it out just to give you guys an idea. All right, that's all you get. It's just a teaser. But that's just for you guys. I'm so stoked you're here tonight, and I wanted to give you a little sneak peek and let you know that I wasn't BSing, that we're actually up there making records. Um, Let me see here. Jerome Davis. Hi. Hey, Jerome. Uh, let's see, who else we got? Skylar's ready to hang out with the Unleashed gang. Are we a gang now? That's so cool. I've always wanted to be in a gang. Like, nobody would let me in their gang. Well, there's the RATT gang, but I didn't really get in the RATT gang. I got in the Stephen Pearcy gang for pretty long time, and actually got some good news this week that you guys are going to see me on stage with Stephen Pearcy again in 2026. So I can't announce anything yet, but there will be some dates where you'll see me, and of course the Pearcy D Martini. Those guys got shows too, so you're gonna get it all, baby. Um, Scott Coburn, thanks for the devil horns. Oh yeah, we got all kinds of stuff here. In the beginning here, while we only have like 10 comments, I'm gonna read them all. Eric Green's official account. What's up, dude? You spell your name just like mine. How cool is that? Howdy. Well, howdy to you, sir. What else we got here? He's howdying several times. Hi, Eric. Okay, Skylar. Like and subscribe, everyone. Yes, in a perfect world, everyone would like and subscribe. I did actually change a setting to say that you had to be subscribed to leave a comment. And I think that's fair. You know what I mean? Because, I, by the way, have not gotten really any crappy comments. I think with the road videos, maybe two or three, and they weren't really bad. They weren't that bad. And I think I left a couple. There was only one maybe that I took down because I didn't know if it went against the terms of service. But it's not much effort on my part as far as that goes. But my luck will run out at some point, I'm sure. So, oh, did you see who I got at my co-host tonight? Charlie the Cat. You guys know Charlie the Cat? If you're on my Facebook, you know Charlie the Cat. Oh, anyways, I'm all over the place. My name is Eric too. I know. Cinder Fox 1. House Stevens. I know you meant solo. His Silo 6. Maybe we should call the album Silo 6. That sounds mysterious. One of the working titles to one of the tracks is, or that one that no, that wasn't that one, but this other one is called Operation Chaos, and that's the one that's going to be like a painkiller, the Judas Priest painkiller or something. That one that we just had reminded, when I was writing it, I was thinking this kind of reminds me of like an Alice Cooper Poison type vibe with maybe a little Def Leppard in the verse or something. I don't know. I probably played too much of it. It's not really my place to play his stuff early, but maybe here and there I'll try to do sneak peeks. Saw Steven's post about you coming to Matt's studio this past week. Any plans to release a single before the end of the year? With Steven, that would not surprise me if he did something like that, because I could tell just the prospect of him sitting around for a couple months right now is probably driving him bonkers. He has to always be doing something and be involved in something, and he loves being connected with the fans and anything to connect us all. And so it's very possible that he might surprise us with that. Because we're doing it live. That's right. It's the only way to really do it. It separates, the men from the boys. Jerome Davis, I got a Disney annual pass. Did you? Well, have you ever heard of Club 33 at Disney? Walt Disney was a Freemason, and they have like this whole connection with that, but they actually have like a Club 33, like this whole membership thing going on there where you pay all this money and you could be part of their membership for their. There was one guy that got in trouble for letting somebody use his pass, and they never let him back in, and he was all butthurt about it and tried to sue. Let's see. David Carrasco. What's up, dude? Hope you had a great Thanksgiving. It was all right. It was all right. Cooked a bunch of food. I mean, the turkey's pretty much gone, I have to say. There's no more. We ate it all. So glad to be here. Elijah, I'm glad that you're glad. Hail and kill from the Freedom Fighter. All right. Got CMS peeps in the house. I will say my buddy Chris Aiken wasn't feeling so hot this week, and you might have noticed that we didn't do a show, so if we could all give Chris our get well thoughts. I think he is doing a little bit better, but he's just been feeling like hammered poop all week, and we didn't end up doing a gig, and I didn't ask him even about coming on here tonight because I figured he's still probably recovering, right? Okay. Because looks like I picked the wrong week to quit sniffing glue. I love the airplane movies. They were a trip. Don't tell Jason Green, but I think you're nicer, Eric. Well, that's everybody has opinions, Lies, all lies. There is a lot of lies. The world's getting faker and faker, isn't it? How come dance is never played live? That's what Keith wants to know. Really, it's the vocal register. I don't think the band, if they played it live at all in the beginning, I don't think they kept it in the set for too long, just as far as the rigorous touring that those guys did back in the days. I'm sure Stephen had plenty of nights where his range probably wasn't there to that capacity. I don't know if you guys have tried to sing along with that, but it's way up there. It's like, I mean, you got the dance, dance, dance. Like that, I mean, the band could probably handle that part, but the verse is like hits some notes that are even higher than that. It's like this thing goes from being high vocal range to like continuous high vocal range, and he's like laying into it in the studio there, and it's triple tracked and all that stuff. Where am I going with this? That's probably a tough one to consistently sing live, and Steven just probably didn't feel comfortable singing it. I always thought we should at least come out and tease the intro. And everybody's like, oh my god, they're going to play it. And then we go, no, just kidding. Go into Wanted Man or something instead. But you never know. Let me see here. Got dance. We already answered that. Get crazy. You only live once, Eric. Well, I don't know about that. And neither does Steven. That's why we said you only live twice. Let's see. We got I never get your name right. How do you say that? R. Dorfler? Enjoy a glass or two of wine. Well, I don't want you to drink alone. Yeah, all by yourself. I'm digging the Fireball. I remember this is almost like when you do Jaeger shots. It's kind of similar. Very sweet or whatever, but I can't do the mass consumptions of alcohol. But if it's just us having a quick little 2-hour party, I can like take a couple Fireball shots, and I'm not breaking any laws. We're not in a car driving down the street or something. Tyrone extraordinaire. Hey, hey. Well, hello. Sound is muffled. My sound is muffled, is it? Is that accurate, folks? Am I too far away? I'm scaring Charlie Cat up here. I can get a little closer to you. Maybe turn up my microphone. Let's see. I'm a die-hard 80s rock girl. Well, we're happy that you're hanging out. We could always use a die-hard 80s rock girl. Fats Domino Boogie Woogie ruled, T-Cuz says. Okay. And Freedom Fighter. Dinosaur rock is still the best. Yeah, I mean, I don't know about you guys. Do you guys still pretend to like new stuff? I mean, it seems like there's an age where you stop trying to like, hey, have you heard this band? Or that band. Some stuff you can't ignore because it shows up in your video stream, and you kind of get it. It's in your face to check it out. But I don't know what the last bands that I thought were like. I feel like the last time I got excited, you'll laugh, but probably like the Jack White stuff. Like I was into his stuff for a minute. But even looking back, that was in the early 2010s, and I haven't really cared much about any new music. Nothing's really like got me excited that I've heard. I think that I mentioned today the hair metal guru. He's like, hey, I got to get out there and like new music too. And I'm like, yeah, new music, as long as the new music sounds like the old music. That's good. I mean, we also talked about AI, because that's, of course, scary in the music field. He was asking me if I thought it's being used a lot out there. And yeah, it's a lot of these mainstream pop acts, it sounds like they had AI write it and they're performing it. Like, for some reason, there's just a soul missing from it. And I can kind of tell. Plus, for the last, 20 years, bands have been getting so meticulous with their Pro Tools editing of music, where stuff just all sounds the same now. Everybody uses the same plugins. They're editing everything perfectly in tune all the time. And that's not how, historically records were made. I mean, certainly as the recording industry progressed, bands had opportunities to do extra takes. I mean, if we're going to look at like the history of recording, it's like up until probably the 60s, everybody would just get together in a room and they would just have a microphone sitting on the top, and everybody had to get it right. And they're like literally right there, like cutting a record. Talk about pressure. I mean, that's explains why they only had like probably 24 studio musicians that they used for everything all the time, because you couldn't just have some new band come in and pull that off. I mean, from then on, from the time that you were able to like punch people in and do all this stuff, the quality of musicianship probably went down. Like, it just seemed like people were more talented, and people were more into jazz and other, more complex music back then. That's just has gotten lost, where image started to take over, and you could fake it. It just became easier and easier to fake an artist and then, make it a business move and get success with that. But I don't know if you guys feel that way, but a lot of the music I hear, just it all sounds like it possibly could be AI written, and then they just go back in and do their version of it. But that is not the case, I'm happy to report, for the Stephen Pearcy record. I've been writing these riffs for probably 6 years. Some of these I have to actually recreate from the MP3, because these drives took a poo-poo on me. Like, just as I was supposed to go up to the studio, I only had like 6 of the actual song projects that had all the MIDI files in it. When I was heading up to Matt's the other week, I plugged this in to take what I needed, and they just weren't working. The light turned on for a second, and that was it. Chris Aiken claims that he has the tools to get inside and potentially save that stuff. But yeah, in the next week, I have to listen to these other 6 songs he wants to do, which go back to probably right after we were doing View to a Thrill. Right after that record, I was immediately starting to like anything I thought Stephen could throw down vocals over, I was putting it in its own file, if you will, future Pearcy file. But as we know, the whole world went to shit in 2020, and it was never really completely the same. And when the smoke did clear, now we're in like this AI nightmare of sorts. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of cool that we have some of these AI tools to use. And I've also come to the conclusion that just because the tools are there doesn't mean that everybody knows how to utilize them or cares to or is good at it. I mean, you could still be artistic in the way you use it. I mean, it's nice to be able to throw a photo of yourself and then all of a sudden it like animates it into some cool whatever thing like you'd watch on a regular TV when they were talking about some comedy show that you watch is going to be on at 4, the Golden Girls, and then they'd be like, woo, only on the WB, or I don't know. But that stuff's so easy to do. It's kind of scary, honestly. Like I did it a couple, even for the show tonight. Like I had my thumbnail I made, and then I go, you know what? I'll go throw this into Meta AI and see what it does. It was like me and I was holding Charlie Cat. It was a real photo that was taken in this room, and I put it in there. Next thing you know, it just has me like going, woo, woo, making all these like funny faces and stuff, and it looked like me doing all that, and it wasn't really me, but it's figuring me out. I could tell that it's been watching me, if you will. I always feel like somebody's watching me. I don't think I sang that in the key. We did Dinosaur Rock. What else we got here? Johnny, is Warren and Steven back together? Sir, he spells that with a he has a in there, a PH. They are back together for now. They do have shows. If you go to I think it's officialstephenpearcy.com, he has the dates up there. A couple of the Ace shows that were on the books, they took over. I'd say right now they have probably at least 3 shows booked, and then I'm not allowed to say anything at the moment, but I did mention, if you weren't here yet, that there are events that I will be at with Stephen Pearcy in 2026. Can you play something for us? Well, I did. Hopefully you saw it. I know you made that comment probably before I showed my studio clip, but if you weren't here yet, please rewind it. I kind of gave a tease of one of the tracks. It's with these songs, I do like working titles, if you will. Like I just, right as I'm about to send the song idea over to Steven, I'm like, what can I call this thing? What can I call it? I'll call it Fireball, I'll call it Lamp. It's not hopeful, but you know what? Sometimes he'll use whatever the title is. He's like, this song's called Lamp. Sometimes people do it and it works. I did a song for The Project. We should talk about The Project for a second and always show some love to that, which is the band I'm playing in when I'm not on tour with Stephen Pearcy. You can catch me with them. The Project has a new agent, and I was supposed to mention that, and I guess I forgot to last time, but it is Len Schmitzer from AFM Entertainment. And for anyone that's looking to book The Project, which Dennis Hill from Face to Face is singing on Death of Me, if you heard that track. And of course James Davis, who I always talk about. I don't know if he'll be here tonight or not, but you can contact Len at afmentertainment.com, and if there's an event that you'd like to see us at, talk to him. He also handles Bad Marriage, if you know Bad Marriage. Freedom Fighter heard it and said it sounded good. I mean, you have to have a little bit of an imagination. I mean, it's not like I'm like, here, listen to the first things. I mean, that's very dry. You're listening to the MIDI drums. That's not even a real drummer in there yet. You know what I mean? What you're seeing there is Matt sitting at the computer and me sitting just on a drum stool with. We were using all these different guitars, but in that one, I actually maybe I didn't even show the one I was using, but he has a Les Paul there I used on some of this stuff too. And I'm just sitting there. I'm like, 2 feet away from him in the control room, and he's just playing the track, and I'm just cutting the rhythm guitars, and then at home I'll probably do the solos, and I could just email him those. Basically, they're smaller files, and take my time here to do that instead of doing it on Steven's dime, sitting up there, oh, take it again, you're a little out of tune, whatever, you know. Solos are a little more complex, and they can take time to do it right, especially if you're doing gnarly ones. And we don't have $1 million budget for this, so that's little ways we could cut down on the budget. Is I could just go at home and make sure I'm happy with what goes on there. The groove is bitchin', man. T-Cuz digs it. DAW or tape? Well, he's not using tape. He's using Pro Tools in there. We haven't done, I don't think, anything with tape yet. I mean, vinyl is the only old school thing that we've done to my knowledge. I always liked the idea, though. My friend Darren was doing this in his studio, but they were taking their Pro Tools session and bouncing it onto 2-inch tape and then putting it back into Pro Tools in a, I don't know, attempt to recapture whatever that magic of tape is, that warmth and spread that kind of you tend to lose in the digital world. The blend sounds killer. Well, that was just one video I grabbed. I mean, the songs are really good. I mean, I'm confident in saying that this album is going to be way better than the other two we just did. I can tell you that. Awesome. Okay, now I'm getting to the people that saw it. We got L-Thrap. I can't wait. Black Phillip, flying sober tonight here. Well, that's a responsible way. I wouldn't want you flying any aircraft while you're under the influence. Okay, Enchanted Lily, sounds great, love it. Yeah, it's just a sexy groove. I mean, I was listening to it. I've been really trying hard to hit the gym here, as I mentioned, and I've pretty much stuck to it. I was attempting to do an everyday till April thing, and just sometimes that's just not reasonable. I did 7 days in a row, and what am I doing? I'm on that elliptical thing where you start pedaling, and you pick in like what workout you want to do, and I think I was doing like the mountaintops or something, and I was doing an hour on there, and it was saying that I was burning 700 calories, and it was saying that I was going about 5 miles. I don't know how accurate that is, but I mean, by about 30 minutes into it, I'm definitely sweating like a faucet, and that's probably a good thing. And I've been doing the hour. I did 7 days in a row, and then the 8th day, I just needed a break. My body's all no, and I just needed like 1 day to recover. Then I pretty much was back into it. Yesterday, did not go. Today, I did go, but didn't have an entire hour to do it. So I did about a 30-minute one. I had to do that hair metal guru. He likes to do the marathon interviews, but I told him up front, he knew I had the show tonight, so we didn't do like the 4-hour stuff that he's done with some of these guys. Robbie Crane, he just announced he did a Robbie Crane interview, so you'll probably see that next. Greg Linsbauer, how you doing, Greg? Need white heat on the new CD. That tune is killer. Thank you. That's cool. Yeah, if you checked out on the channel here, I put a playlist together that's got some unreleased stuff on there, and White Heat's a part of that. They had a couple tracks that the late Chris Hagar got to play on as well, and Just One More Time is one of them, and White Heat, and he's in those videos too. I believe I put those videos together 10 years ago or whatever. When I started this channel. This is actually a 10-year-old channel that I wouldn't say I abandoned it, but kind of, pretty much. I really didn't understand the power of YouTube if you know how to wield it, and the couple videos I put up weren't initially getting all that much mileage, and they were all getting copyright infringements or whatever. So I was like, I don't see the point here. I'm making this video and I can't put it up on my own YouTube, and I didn't even understand the whole monetization thing. The last video that I think I put up was during the pandemic in 2020. All That I Want was a song that was a total demo. Like what you're hearing there that's the version I sent to Steven that has a drum machine, and he just went and sang over the MP3 and put it out. I would have liked to see that go on the record. I thought that was like a total hit, and if it had real drums, it probably would have sounded massive and cool. But I'm glad you dug that. I'll keep adding to that playlist. But if you guys have that, you can check some of this stuff out. I'll be at the Stephen Pearcy shows if you're in my area. Skylar's saying, well, I'm glad to hear that. I appreciate the support. I mean, go see him. Go see it all. As I said, I was excited to see Warren and Carlos back on stage, and I'm happy for those dudes, and I'm especially happy for all the fans that grew up as that those were their guitar heroes, and a chance to come to those shows, and a lot of people got to meet these guys and let them know how much their guitar playing meant to them, and that's important and special, and I'm very happy that everybody got to enjoy that. With that said, there's there's no reason, right, why we can't all play. Speaking about the two bands, since we're talking about it, and I'm in one of the bands, so I'm qualified to do so. How do you guys feel about this? I want to go back to the days when Steven used to say, anything goes at the solo shows, right? And what he meant by that is, of course, it's a party and a good time, and that's really what it's about. All of us, us coming to your town, wherever that may be, and everybody from your area coming there, and us having a party and playing music for you guys. But as I remember the Pearcy band being, we used to do like an array of stuff. Like in addition to playing, a couple of the RATT hits or whatever, we did play some solo Pearcy stuff, but we did some fun covers from the bands that we love: Aerosmith, Judas Priest, Led Zeppelin. And I kind of miss those days because it did seem like it was two bands doing the same thing. You know what I mean? So I don't know how you guys feel about it. I know sometimes club owners that are trying to sell tickets want to have a shtick, doing all the hits. It's always like the suits that come in and think that they know what's best, right? You're just gonna do just the hits at this show, and I get it. I mean, I'm guilty of that as a fan too. If I'm going to see a band that I'm a casual fan of, I'm really praying that they're gonna play their hits because I probably only know 4 of their songs anyway. But I do understand that, but it really depends on the situation. If you're paying like a bunch of money to see some big act, you're expecting all the hits, of course. But if it's like a more club level, kind of thing, it's as long as the band sounds good and it's fun, and if you're playing those covers, it's still songs you guys know. In fact, when we do it that way, I bet you there's more people that know what the songs are if we did a Zeppelin song, an Aerosmith song, a Priest song. I say that because we used to do that stuff all the time, and it was a lot of fun. And I remember all you guys going nuts when we used to do it. And I feel that we got away from it to appease whatever the promoters or what have you. And then it gets to the point of, we're playing this record in its entirety. And geez, it's been a long time, and we're not the original band, but it's tough to do those kind of things. Play a record in its entirety, where in some situations the record was more of a studio song that wasn't really probably going to be pulled off potentially live. Down is up, 76. What's up, Erik from New York City? Well, the cost of living, as I've said, and I'm sure for you too, New York is as ridiculous as California. Oh, Kitty. Enchanted Lily, yes. Cat parents are welcome here. I mean, cat people, we're our own thing. Dogs are freaking awesome too, so don't get me wrong. I love pretty much all animals, I think. I mean, I say that, but there's probably some terrorizing animal out there that I probably wouldn't like. But as far as domesticated animals, I like them all. I feel like dogs are so loving and so forgiving, and that it's even the worst person can own a dog. It works out, but a cat, like, you really gotta earn a cat's respect and trust. Like, they don't mess around, and if they'll leave your ass if you don't take care of them. You know what I mean? They'll just leave one day. Like, I'm out of here. You suck. Let me see. Oh, so cute. You're gonna have to like phonetically spell your name out there for me. Ardo, Ardo Fleur. I'm gonna struggle on that every time. Come on. Do you like one of those phonetic things that they do? Oh yeah, there's my girl Marsha. Happy Friday. Hello, Eric and Charlie. So Marsha showed up in time for kitty time. She has a bunch of cool kitties. Marsha, sadly, her bearded dragon had passed away this past week, which was a total bummer. I asked her if she was going to get another one, and at first she said no, but they had all this cool stuff, the aquarium thing for the bearded dragon, and she, she sent me this picture. I might be able while we're talking to find it before the show ends, but it was like her new bearded dragon like sitting on some kind of Harley chopper motorcycle, and it was like totally had its lizard hands up on the thing, and it was just all it looked like totally happy. Yeah, Marsha's a total animal lover and advocate, and she's always even doing stuff around her house to help out the outdoor animals, the squirrels and the birds, especially. She's in Ohio, and anybody in the East Coast knows as well, it's getting cold. Let's see. RG Gupta, I had a fan page for Jason Green, but he blocked fan account. What's up with that? What are you saying? What did he block? The actual, your account specifically, or I don't. Yeah, one thing I'll say is, yeah, I don't. He doesn't represent whatever he's doing over there. Doesn't represent what I'm doing over here, and you know, as an American, he's entitled to his opinions on anything and everybody. And I guess you guys are entitled to yours, and I'm entitled to mine. On these platforms, it's the only catch is it's like, you know, YouTube isn't America. You know, it's the World Wide Web, and these platforms all have their terms of service, and it's, you know, it's not only for the podcaster, but even like you're responsible for like people's comments that they put in there. I didn't really know all that was involved with being a podcaster. Chris handled everything for the Chris Aiken Presents, so he was the one that had the StreamYard or whatever. He would just send me a link. This is just in the last month have I ever got my own big boy account and started to do this. And not till I was like about to hit monetization did I start reading their terms of service. And you'd be surprised like what they don't put up with. And it doesn't take much to get a channel struck down. I mean, even something like, say you're talking smack about somebody and you're not maybe saying their name, right? But they know where you work, or they know. So you're talking about the boss or something, or the boss. The one they used that YouTube used as an example that made me realize that even being ambiguous could be a problem. This is what they said. I'll try to remember exactly, but I think it said the boss's wife is a horse face, I think is the example that they use, which that would make sense because you know that you probably know where they work, so you know who they're talking about, and if they know who the boss is, they would be able to figure it out who you're talking about, and it would be like not that big of a secret. It's not that hard to do, and in those cases, that goes against their YouTube's terms of service. If like the boss's wife or somebody was to go, oh, that's not cool, and put a claim to YouTube or something, or say got a lawyer or something like that, and was to strike the channel. I mean, for a lot of YouTubers, if you get a bunch of strikes in one day, I think it only counts as one. But if they like wait a couple days and hit you with one like every couple of days, it only takes three, and you'll never YouTube again. Your channel will be destroyed permanently. You would have to like find a friend you trust to like get an AdSense account in their name and move on to somebody else would have to be collecting your money for you. You would no longer ever be able to YouTube again, which is gnarly. Even when it comes to striking channels for music, YouTube prefers if they first tell the person to take it down or something like that, because it's a pretty heavy-handed deal. I'm part of a lot of Reddit communities about YouTubers, like NewTubers and people that are small YouTube channels, just seeing what they're saying, what's working for them or not working for them. One thing that comes up a lot is the stolen content thing, where there's a ton of people out there that'll just take somebody's thing and just put it up on theirs, and they don't own the rights to it. And a lot of these guys are like on there going, yeah, I hated to do it, but this guy stole my content. I told him to take it down, and he didn't. And so I struck down his channel multiple times. That guy's channel's dusted, and you see it. And I get it. But, I mean, some of you might have realized, like, if we played your town and I did a vlog, I might have looked up and looked for anybody who had footage from our show. Like, I feel like I should be exempt in some kind of way, because technically you guys are bootlegging the show. You know, if this was like pre-YouTube and you were like, let's say any time before the 2000s, if you were to be at a concert or something and you had like some kind of camera or something and were filming the show, they would full on throw you out of there and take your footage, take the tape or whatever. Like, you were not, that was a big no-no. In fact, like Led Zeppelin, I'm going to space out their Grant, was Peter Grant, right? Peter Grant was Led Zeppelin's manager. That dude would beat your ass if you were doing like Good Times, you know, when it was it not Dwayne and Rod, it was Rerun. Remember Rerun was taping the concert with the Doobie Brothers were on there, and they were dancing and stuff, and then his tape recorder fell out. It was like, that was a bad deal. He was bootlegging the show. It was a funny episode if you've ever seen it. But that used to be a huge no-no, and now the world we're living in is so different than that. Like, everybody's seems to think they have the right to film this concert, and not only film it, but then like put it up on YouTube and get a bunch of views for it. And it's interesting that they do it. But I guess in my smug mind, and being as old school as I am, I was like, oh, you bootlegged or so? I'm gonna bootleg your bootleg, and I don't even ask. You know what I mean? I'm not taking their video as a whole, but I'll like try to find like a good clip or something and take it. And am I wrong for that? Because I feel like if I went into the subreddit thing and said what I do, they would all tell me I'm a big jerk, right, for doing it. I feel like I'm not dropping
You dick!
Yeah, that's probably what they're saying on there. But what do you think? Do I have a right to like bootleg somebody's video of our band that they took without permission anyway? When I was growing up, I would see footage sometimes of bands that would be on the road, and they would walk into like a record store, and they would just start grabbing all this stuff out of there. And what it was is bootlegged stuff that this record store was selling out of the store, all these like rare CDs that were all bootlegs. And so the band would actually walk in and just start taking it all, and the store owner's like, have at it, take whatever you like. And I'm talking walk out with, you know, $1,000 worth of stuff. And the guy's just hoping that they're not going to get sued, you know, for selling that stuff there. And that always like stuck with me. So when I see that, I just thank you, and I don't bother with the whole thing. With photography, I've been called out before, where like somebody, you know, they had their thing watermarked or whatever. A lot of times they don't, but everybody's a photographer now, right? I've had like people say that I need to give them all this credit and all this stuff for like using a photo they took of me or something live, where I thought that generally I would understand them, you know, being concerned. But when the actual guy that you took the picture of used it, I don't know. I thought that was a bit much. Or demanding, you know, to put up all these links for that photographer, tip jars, like goofy stuff. I don't know. Most people though are totally fine with it. I do. If it's a photo that I just got, I'll like maybe the first time I post it, I'll put a little camera icon and put the person's name. But then if I go to use it again another time, I'm not probably not going to go through the hassle of that every time I go to post the photo. And if they didn't watermark it, I might totally forget who it was by that point. But I don't know what your guys' thoughts on the whole thing. Am I a jerk? Maybe. Um, Rajiv, I had a fan page. Oh, okay, we did that already. Um, the R&R Swami. Happy holidays, Eric. Much love, brother. Well, much love to you, and of course, happy holidays. Um, Down is up. What is the most difficult rat song to play? Well, thus far, recently when we had to do that unreleased rat track, um, what was it called? I'm already forgetting it. Um, I'm trying to sing it in my head right now and think of it. You guys know which one I'm talking about? That was like it was like some unreleased track off the Out of the Cellar uh, album where everybody was like, "What? There was a song they didn't release off there?" And then when you hear it, it was really an awesome tune. "Reach for the Sky." Thank you. Nobody said it, but it just finally probably popped into my head. But that one, just for some reason, I don't really play like that. You know, it had an interesting like kind of swing to it. It was like it had like this whole. It was like an Iron Maidenish type deal. Um, what is this saying now? Travis, Nikki Six used a few pics of mine with no credit. Well, I mean, how did you feel about that? Were you like, what were you expecting? I mean, it's cool that he used it, right? You put something out there and he took it and used it. I mean, and if your watermark is on there, you could even go, look, he used mine. See, it has my mark. You'd be able to like prove it to whoever you said. But I mean, I would be personally flattered. Sid Crazy in the house. A great artist will create a masterpiece. Yes. Um, I guess I missed a bunch of stuff. I was going to say, I thought I was done with all the comments, and no, 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 no. Oh yeah, I missed a bunch of stuff here. Well, that's not good. Um, what should I read here? Whew, some people talking to each other. Hi from Seattle. Okay, here we go. Cinder Fox, I chose you. So glad to hear you will be doing shows with Steven. That is great news. He needs you still. Warren is great, but you bring a different vibe to his music. Love your work. Aw, thank you so much. I just got kind of goosebumpy reading that. I should read this stuff before I post it because I'm like Ron Burgundy. Like I'll read anything on the screen. It's one of these days I'm going to read like a total insult to myself and not get it till I'm done. Um, Let me see. What's up, everyone? Skylar, make sure to get to the show on Monday a little earlier. So hope I will be able to get you a message. I have no idea what that means. But again, I'm Ron Burgundy. I'm just pulling stuff up and reading it. Okay. Black Phillip says, that is the first time I've ever seen Charlie Cat. Yep. Charlie Cat's awesome. She's such a sweet girl. She makes, like, waking up every day fun. You know, because it's like the older you get, waking up, it's like, really gotta do this. And then you just kind of, like, roll out of bed and start your miserable day. But with Charlie Cat, like, my day starts with this, it's like a crackling noise, and what it is I have my equipment carrying cases and stuff that some of them have that material that's kind of heavy duty material, but when her claws go into it, it makes this like crackling sound. It's like, and it like totally wakes you up. There's a couple of things these cats do that they know will totally wake your ass up. The first thing is the litter pan. They'll go in, and my cat will not only like use the litter pan, but the way she kicks it around, it's like she goes in there and like purposely like lifts the whole thing up off the ground and like poof, poof. I totally know which cat's in there too. Like my cat does these slower, angrier, ones. Kind of like she's probably pissed that Charlie Cat left the doo-doo in there, so she's like, this bullshit. And and Charlie Cat's like always excited. Maybe she gets in there to poo first or something. She's like, ah! I can tell it's her in there. She has a fast dig. She's younger than the other cat. But in the mornings, Charlie Cat will be like crackling on the carrying case, and I'm like, stop it, because I don't want my carrying case to look like what cats do to stuff, where it has all the balls and scratch. And she's doing that. She's believe me, that case is like a year old, so now it's just totally frayed on one side. But what she does is she'll do it until I actually reach over to like get out of bed and pull her away from it. And then as soon as I go over there to pull away, she'll run away like, okay, I got you to move. That's the first step. And then if that doesn't work, she'll start jumping up, and but she's just so funny, her face, and she's this fluffy, cat. And she'll, play a thing where she'll jump on the bed, and I'll like, oh, come here. And, she'll run away real quick and then come back, and I'll get her, and she'll be purring, and I don't know, it's fun. And then I wake up in kind of a better mood. And, my cat's already like out there waiting to stalk us when we, get out to feed him. Stephen isn't in his 20s or 30s, but still rocking it, man. Right, Tom? I mean, I was looking through some photos of my family recently. I'd shared a couple of them, but my grandfather lived to 72, and he looked so old. Like, dude smoked like 5 packs a day in his earlier years, and he drank like a mofo. He owned a diner in Jersey City, New Jersey, in the 60s and 70s, and even before that, I think from his dad. And they were tough, and they beat people's asses. It was a different time back then. But man, they just aged. They looked so much older than I do at my age, or most of us do. But I was looking at this picture that came up with my grandfather, and I was doing the math. I was like, okay, I think he died when I was around like 22 or something, maybe 22. And I know in this picture I was looking at, I was like probably 16 maybe. So this is like when my grandfather was probably 67 in this picture, and he looks like an old grandpa. And I'm thinking Steven is going to be 70 in July 3rd, if you wish him a happy birthday, when that comes. But that he's of that age. Now Steven didn't smoke 5 packs a day, and he doesn't. I joked at my grandfather. I mean, he didn't give a shit. He walked around without his shirt on, and he looked like literally like Frankenstein. He looked like somebody went to a graveyard and pulled like 4 different bodies and stitched them together. That's like. Just from the lung, he had a lung taken out. He had like all his bypass surgery, so they were like taking him from the back, the front. It was a lot to take in. I did love the guy. I was able to kind of handle it. When you're a kid, you're like, whoa, far out, dude. But yeah, he's up there, and the fact that he's on stage and singing still and doing all that's awesome, man. And it just sets the bar for us, right? I mean, if we just gave up when we were, 45, I mean, it would just suck. I mean, and he has fun. When Steven's out with the solo band, I can tell he's having a good time. When I'm putting out these road vlogs and I'm going through some of the live footage, that last one that I put out, God, this one thing, he was like turned around, he was jumping in the air and clicking his heels together. You know who does that? A happy guy. Yeah. And believe me, if you're not happy, and you know those singers, they go out there and they don't look at anybody, and they just go out and just do their gig and split. You know what I mean? Like, Steven's running around, and he's shaking everybody's hand. He's jumping up and clicking his feet together like, Pirates of Penzance up there. I don't know. He has a good time, and that should continue. As I was saying earlier, I think the two bands, RATT and the solo band should be different. It should be different experiences and set lists and something that you want to catch both things. You know what I mean? Not like, okay, which band do you want to watch play the same set list? You know, that's kind of dumb. Like, and I feel like the solo shows should be like a celebration of Steven's entire career, and you know, ranging from the songs that he loved growing up to his, you know, to Mickey Rat to Rat to you know, what arcade solo stuff with me, you know, just obviously you were doing a new record. We're probably going to want to play a couple songs off the new record for at least the first, you know, year that it's out, right? What else we got here? John Evans. What's up to all my Doobie Brothers? Good to see you, Eric. You know, John, you saw that Good Times? What's not even good? It's What's Happening. How come nobody got me on that? It was the What's Happening episode. I said Good Times. I was completely wrong, and I apologize to you guys. I should have to do a shot for that. How did I mess that up? This has been sitting on my computer, so it's like a warm fireball shot, which isn't as good. I should have kept this in the refrigerator or something. That would have been nice. Let me see here. Okay. Do you, you're not giving me the phonetical spelling, so I'm just going to butcher it every time. But I love that you have your photo there, because then I feel like we're really at a hangout. Like, you know, when I can't see anybody, I missed a little bit of that connection. I feel like you guys are seeing me and I'm not seeing you. So I don't care what you guys look like. In fact, I seem to get along with like the weirder Stranger Things people. So don't be shy to put. I'm not gonna judge you. I'll love you even more for however weird you are. But yeah, start putting your photos. So I could get a name with the face, and then if you come to the shows, I'll be like, it's Ardo or Fleur one. Let me see. Sing Crazy. Do you like playing What You Give Is What You Get? Tell me your thoughts on that song. Thanks, brother. Well, Gary, who's a good friend of mine, I really do like that song. I feel like we've never played it in the solo band. It hasn't come up. There was the talk of doing Invasion of Your Privacy in its entirety. I'm glad that didn't happen, because a lot of work. And, you know, in theory, you think it's like a good idea to do such a thing. You're like, oh my God, that would be amazing. But let's be honest. I mean, I play in Steven's band, and I'm not, like, if you asked me to, like, list all the names on every Rat record, I would, if it was multiple choice, I could probably figure it out and do pretty well on the test, but I could not sit here and tell you those names. I'm like not that gnarly. I wasn't that gnarly of a fan back in the day. I was more casual MTV fan. I didn't have the finances back as a kid to like buy all these records and stuff. If it was on the radio or MTV, I heard it, and that was pretty much it. So I'm just basing it off my own opinion, that I'm not going to know all the deep cuts from a band or from Rat, and it turns out that that's the same for the people out there. When we were doing Out of the Cellar in its entirety, there was definitely some points in the show where you could tell they just did not know the tunes. Not that, you know, I knew some of the ones they didn't know, and I think they're good songs and they were fun to play live, but you could tell that you're kind of losing the audience a little. Like they just start kind of like watching more than like singing along and hands going in there. Like they don't know the words to these songs. So when maybe it does put butts in seats to say such a thing. How do you guys feel about that when they say so and so band's gonna play this album in its entirety? Are you like, oh, I wasn't gonna go before, but oh, now that you're gonna play the whole album in its entirety? I mean, there's some bands that maybe that's acceptable, like Pink Floyd is coming back to play The Wall in its entirety. Yes, that makes sense, but I mean, most bands, especially the 80s rock bands, none of those dudes had an album that, I don't know. What do you guys think? What's your opinion? Marsha, will there be music videos with the solo album? Well, if I can do something about it, I will. If I have to put a video montage, I'll do it. Whatever it takes. to help out. You know what? I think so because I mean, let me tell you, if Frontiers is trying to get a hold of me about this Pearcy record, they're very excited about it, and they want us to put it out on Frontiers again, like the last two. I can tell. So this thing's gonna get probably a decent release. I don't know if Steven's gonna try to shoot for the stars and go for a bigger company or something. Once they hear it, they might. I don't know, but he's saying all kinds of exciting things, and I'm just like It's making me think again that we're not living in a real thing. Like this is a Truman Show weird situation where where they say life is but a dream. Like this is I'm living some like kid's 80s dream that shouldn't even be a part of 2026, but it is, and that's what makes me think something's amiss. Because, I mean, once in a while you could say, you know, even the losers get lucky sometimes. You know what I mean? But to be around this long, keep seeing these cool things happen is incredible. So anyway, I'll stop going on and tell you that he's mentioned some names that he wants to come in and noodle on this thing. Jakey Lee, George Lynch. He wants to have these guys come in and play some a little solo here and there, and they were talking about drummers, or like what drummers are we getting, and you know, they're like, yeah, let's get Blas, Jimmy D'Ando. They brought up Will Hunt, they Fred Curry. You know, they're bringing all these like known named people up, and I'm just going, wow, I can't believe this. You know, to have been a part of the writing and watching this thing, and that after all the drama that all of us have been through in the last 5 years, all of us, to sit here and see this actually happen and come out, in all those years I spent coming up with songs, never knowing if they would ever see the light of day, just trying to have faith that at some point we're going to do something. And each year that went on, it would just seem like, are we going to do something? And this last thing, I went, man, we're not getting any younger here, and like I don't know how many more years are left to put out albums, you know. And here we are doing this thing and hearing these big names that are likely. I mean, I just named a lot of people. At being if a quarter of those show up to the party, I'll be way happy. Going on. Am I hitting the wrong? I almost deleted a comment. I don't want to do that. Marsha was excited when Dirty Honey come out. Oh, Dirty Honey come out, huh? They are. Dirty Honey is a pretty cool band. I haven't had the pleasure of seeing them live yet, but like any of the live clips that pass through, I always do check it out, and they sound cool. It's just got that old school, you know, Zeppelin rock. Jeff Whiteley, Eddie Van Halen, Jason Becker, Sean Lane. Eric, how would you rank them, those three? Um, well, you know, it's sad that two of them can't play. One's not with us anymore. I think Jason Becker would have gone on to do some really phenomenal stuff. Sean Lane definitely had the "I'm the fastest guy" thing. I mean, I don't want to sell him short. I just recently kind of stumbled upon him because I guess he's passed away, and I'm starting to see some videos of him playing. And I mean, for me, seeing someone trying to show how fast they can play, it's amusing, but only to me for like a second. There's no real musicality to that. And as far as like Jason Becker, you know, as I said, I think he got robbed obviously the most, but everybody did. I think he would have been, yeah, like along the lines of a Steve Vai or somebody like that. I think we didn't get to see what he was totally capable of. The last thing I saw from Jason Becker was when he was playing on the Roth record, and it was very promising when I was hearing there, like he was doing it the right way. But I mean, if you ever heard me talk, I was such an Eddie Van Halen freak, you know. My room when I was like 15, I had like a poster of Eddie Van Halen above my bed, like some jumping Eddie Van Halen poster, and I had all the T-shirts. I even had like the 5150 Van Halen guys in my room, as goofy as that would be. Definitely gonna get my punk rock card pulled there. But you know, when you're 15, I wasn't like when I was 15, I was still a happy kid. I hadn't been through like all the shit I've been through since then. Where now when I hear 5150, I'm like, ugh. Some of the songs are okay, but I'm like, I could see where people were pissed off. But for me, I just loved anything Eddie Van Halen did. I was all in. Even like Sammy Hagar's like kind of not that great solo album he did around that time. I was like, what? Eddie Van Halen played bass on it? I'm in. You know, I was just goofy with it. Tom, they don't make music like the 80s rock. Music now sucks. Yeah, I mean, when everything's on a grid like that and just perfect, it loses it. I feel like a lot of the 80s songs that we loved growing up that were platinum records, those guys had the budgets to like be in the studio and as a band play the song live as many times as it took till they got the track that they felt like, yeah, it's that one, and then they could build off it from there. Tom Petty is as somebody said they would do like a song, they would record it like 100 times, man. That's crazy. The little clip I played of me and Matt in there, we were definitely not doing something 100 times. I mean, I'm kind of embarrassed to say that I was almost a little like unprepared. I've been so busy with other stuff, and you know, as I mentioned, Stephen is always talking about doing a record, but be ready. But I mean, this has been going on for 6 years. I just have other things happening. I'm doing this channel. Sin Crazy Gary you saw there. I was working on stuff for him and trying to get songs ready for Pearcy. But when it came time, I had a family thing that came up the day before. My stepdad's super sick right now, and I had to go and take care of him. It ended up taking way longer. I go up to Matt's. I had to like relearn how to play my riffs on there. Some of these songs are like six years old, you know. And obviously I wrote them, so in my back of my mind, I'm like, well, how long could it take me to figure out what I did? And we would sit there, and then he would just punch me in on the verses and choruses. And I wasn't like a one take Jake that, oh, I'm so prepared, check this out. No, I was like, let's start with the easiest song first, and then kind of built it up from there. Okay, Eric Green. Who do you like better, the Gap Band or Cameo? That's pretty good. Cameo does Word Up, right? Is that correct? I'm gonna have to go with Cameo. Um, Down is up. I still try to listen to new bands, but nothing out there is my speed. I agree, for the most part. I mean, there's been some kind of cool punk rockish bands that weren't too terrible, but they're also not super memorable either. Turnstile, anyone? I thought they had some okay songs. I mean, they seem to be resonating with the kids out there. I mean, I'm open to that stuff. If it has a sound that I've heard in my life, I might like something about it. Susan's played me a couple things that weren't bad. I wish she's not here right now for me to ask her about some of those. I don't know what RDO Flyer One is saying. No shit. I don't know. She's probably about new music. Matt Volker. How's it going, Eric? First time live. Your first time being here live. Well, welcome, Matt. Glad you're here tonight. Whatever questions you got, throw them out. You got some jokes? Lay them on. The Gap Band's better, Skylar says. Well, again, you're all entitled to your opinions. I like it all. Tyrone, the Jason Green stalker is on here. Who's that? Is there one? I don't know. I don't know about that. He's coming up. His name's coming up a lot tonight. Why is that? Saw you guys back in February in Clear Lake, Iowa. Great show. Awesome, man. Thank you. It's always better when you're there. I've just come to that conclusion, especially after seeing Judas Priest and Alice Cooper recently. Like, I was convinced that they were all just lip syncing or something that thing, but then when I saw some video of the show from other people, you could hear that it was them like playing live. But that's how awesome it sounded when I was there. I mean, it's something else. Rat Roll 4803. I ask him wife what to say. She says, only love you and Steven. Thank you for keeping the music alive. Rat, miss my Crosby, but you have filled in awesome. Much love to you. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I definitely dig Robin's playing. He had that kind of just melodic, but specifically the way his tone Robin had and the way that he would bend his notes. And his leads were just melodic. I mean, he said what he had to say. You know, he wasn't. I mean, for the time, he was definitely good, but you could see Warren had more technical skill than Robin had, and I don't know. Warren was just phenomenal, though. He was smooth beyond his years, I have to say, and he just listened to the right people. He's definitely a big Shanker. He loved Michael Shanker. It was probably super cool for Warren to have gotten to play with Michael Shanker on that last Detonator tour. I remember seeing that. Asking, oh no, that guy, I keep doing that tonight. I'm like rereading the same stuff. You dropped the bomb on me, baby. You dropped the bomb on me. That's a fun song. Pew! That's the Gap Band, right? That is a fun song. Is there Jesus Christ? Somebody sent me a really funny video, and I almost feel like you guys want me to play it, but yeah, it's good. I'll play it.
You know what I'm saying? The good thing about the show is I do what I want. If you don't like it, you don't watch it. It's okay with me. I'm okay with it. I've come to terms with who I am. Now go fuck yourselves if you don't agree with me. 1 second you're on top of the world, the next second you're Johnny making Elton John videos at home. It's cruel and fast. I gotta look at my subscribers right now, and I'm gonna check and cross-reference and make sure everyone watching is subscribed. And if you're not, I'm gonna call you out by name. Right now, 45,000. It said 93. I refreshed it, and I lost 2.
Whoever did that, that's very funny. Anyways, moving on. Okay, let's see. Hey Eric, do you remember playing at a venue called the Metal Factory in Fort Lauderdale in the early 2000s? Later on, I saw Johnny Monaco at the same venue almost at the same time with Enough's Enough. The Metal Factory. Woof. A lot of those shows are a blur for me. If I was arrested or got roughed up, I probably remember. If not, I probably would not remember it. But that's cool. That place I'm taking is not around anymore, right? Let me see. Tom P505. I grew up on listening to UFO Strangers in the Night, loud and smoking doobies. Yeah. I got to see Shanker most recently on the Monsters of Rock tour, or the Monsters of Rock tour. Yeah, we're on the Monsters of Rock tour. Van Halen was there, Metallica, Dokken, Kingdom Come, Scorpions too. Van Halen. No, it was actually the Monsters of Rock cruise, and I do have footage of that. I'm soon to put out my road vlog, but there's a Monsters of Rock one that I don't know if that's the next one I'm gonna do, but it's soon, and I will put some Shanker footage in there from it. Will you ask Johnny Monaco to come on your show? Yeah, Johnny and I left on. I would like to think we left on good terms with each other. I'll say that the last words Johnny said to me was, "Call me anytime." So, take that as you will. I didn't sound. I think we all know Johnny pretty well, and if he was like F that guy, he would say so. If he would say that to me, he has no problem telling me how he feels about me, believe me. And if he if he was leaving on bad terms, he would, if I would be like, bye, John, he would just storm off or something like that. So for him to say, call me anytime, I think that, you know, after our experience together, you know, whatever might have transpired between that when it left, it was like, all right, man, have a good life. What type of picks do you use? Well, I use different picks depending on what I have going on, but typically with the Pearcy, I have the .73 millimeter sharps from Tortex. I'm a pariah pickup artist now. Did I mention that? I'm not trying to brag. I'm just trying to give props. Mahaffey amps. Go check out there. Tris Mahaffey gave me one of his amps. Of course, Splawn. You know that I play the Splawn, so everybody knows that. They know that I play Splawn. SplawnGuitars.com. And wait, we got some. What's going on here? Is there some? How do I get up to that? I'm already missing the chats. Oh, here we go. Is this how it works? Let me see here. John Evans, $10. Thank you, sir. That is so kind of you. I appreciate it. Barsha B, just throwing out a super chat to see if someone will match me. Aw, and that's why I see what happened here. Look at that. Marsha got John at the, oh, you guys are so nice to me. You're too nice to me. Let me see here. Let's see. Cinder Fox asked, did I didn't read that one? We did. I gave a little video. You guys could, if you're getting here late, I put a little video snip. You could watch me and Matt doing our thing. It's so cool to be in the studio at Matt's. He's so meticulous. Like, I feel like, I mean, it's as clean as a doctor's office in his place, and he is like Dr. Rock. You're like, you feel like you're going like for some specialty surgery or something like that. But we're like, when he and I are in the studio together, I would equate it to like, remember when you were kids and you found like the friend that you could play Legos with, you know, where you're like, hey dude, do you want to like build this massive Lego set together? You know, it's like, yeah, okay, cool. Hey, should we put an Eiffel Tower over here? Yeah, awesome. Hey, did we just become best friends? You know, I mean, I don't know. It was just a fun, you know, we're playing with our toys, but we're adults. Does that make sense? It's like we don't have the Legos or the GI Joes, but we got these guitars and basses and amps, and you got these cool computers and these buttons and these keyboards. I mean, it's like kid stuff for adults, but we're just sitting there playing just like kids would that didn't have their parents telling them it was time to go or they had to come in for dinner or whatever. You know, it's just, you're just in there building these songs together, and like 9 hours went by like nothing. So, anywho, let me see. I'm probably totally lost again. I'm still fairly new at this, you guys, so I'm happy that you're being so kind to me and patient. What's up from Southwest Chicago area? Well, what's up? Oh, Christy, hey. Hey, Christy. Look, I got your necklace. Dipped in Lake Minnetonka. No, I forgot which lake you said this was from. You're going to have to put it in the chat and I'll read it. But it was super sweet of you. And, you know, Gary and Christy had gifted me some super nice stuff. Marsha, you know, our buddy Marsha sent me the sweetest birthday box of things that were interesting. I mean, there's interesting stuff. She had cool sea glass things, of course, and so she had a gift in there for Susan as well. There was these super cool kind of meta glasses or whatever, but that looks like I could put them on and film stuff. I don't know. With those kind of things, I feel like I should be filming dirty stuff or stuff that people, I don't know. I mean, it's nothing that I would film and show on here, I don't think. Hi from Seattle, Enchanted. Cinder Fox. We read that one, but thank you. And let me see what else we got here tonight. You guys are doing pretty good. I mean, there's so many comments, I'm getting a little lost and a little buzzed maybe. I'm like, trying to like see what's going on. Here we go. Cemetery Gates. What's happening? It's defiantly a wedding cake kind of evening. Oh, I know what you're saying. Wedding cake. He's talking about the herbs. Wedding cake is a strain, and it is pretty good. It's a trip how affordable that stuff is. I mean, I've been getting this stuff from the dispensary that's very affordable, and at first it seems okay, but it does seem to like disintegrate pretty quick, like turn into not so great stuff like within a week. But it's crazy. You could buy like a half ounce for like $25, but then with the tax, it ends up being like 45. They charge a crazy amount of tax at these dispensaries. So California, it was funny to me when they were going to pause the snap thing. I was like, they were obviously just doing it for politics or to get attention or whatever, but it most certainly wasn't because they don't have the money. I mean, it literally brings in billions of dollars to California. Enchanted Lily Blue. Does anyone like the band Zebra? Been getting back into them lately. Now I gotta check out more Zebra. I feel like they didn't get the airplay maybe they deserve so much. I mean, as I said, I didn't get to buy a lot of music. If it was on MTV or it was on the radio, I'm familiar with it. Rat and Roll, 4803. Yeah, come to Bigoton, my arena. Yeah, okay. That sounds good. I'll go anywhere. I don't care. We go where people dare to go. Rat Bastards! Yeah, I think the Rat Bastards are going to have to ride again. Now, I was never, Stephen always calls that. I know we did go by that for a long time, but I don't know. I'm not a bastard. I know who my parents are. Eric Green. Rat, Journey, Motley Crue, Guns N' Roses, Metallica, Megadeth, and Lil Wayne. Tone down for what? That video's hilarious. Eric, your home is incredible. The views you get are off the hook. Yeah, that's, another Truman Show thing. That I'm at this place that I've been friends with Susan for 5 years now, and living here for the last 3. It perplexes people because like people that know me know I come from humble means, and I've talked about my last place of residence was a real butthole apartment in Oceanside that was bad. If anybody who's on here that's been there, they'll vouch for that. I was there for 16 years. Okay, I probably would have died there if I hadn't have gotten my health incident on the road at coincidentally the best heart hospital in the country in Ohio. But yeah, this place that I was at was crap. It didn't have a balcony. It didn't even come with a refrigerator. It was the cheapest place that I could find in Oceanside. I think when I moved in there, the rent was only like $700 a month. I mean, there's some places where you could rent a big house for $700 probably right now. But this was 20 years ago, and I got into this place and I just stayed there. I just dug in. It was super cheap, and that way I worked the least amount as possible to pay the rent. Like, because I didn't like working, and I didn't get that much from playing for Pearcy. I mean, we weren't. There was years he was out with RATT or whatever, and I did get some jobs. If he was gone for like 6 months or more, I was definitely getting a job. But if not, then I would just try to like get by just by living at a cheap place. And I smoked, and it was gross in there. And then I had my cat, of course, for a while. We had a couple of hot summers where at one point Kylie, my cat, got fleas, and it was gnarly trying to get rid of these fleas in this place. It was like, good luck with that. I think they just burned the place down when I left. But where am I going with this? Somehow I end up in this like $1 million like wait, I don't own it, by the way. Just renting. I'm renting a room out of it. But I end up in this condo, and it's just trippy, man. It's trippy that the universe would have me here, and I still. It astonishes me. Like I wake up and I walk out on the balcony and I just go, wow. It's like sometimes the universe knows when you've like struggled or suffered for a long time, and life is only, life is short, and just wanted to like give me a taste. Like, this is what it could be like for you. You at least get your little taste for a minute, And so every day that I'm here, I'm grateful. There will be a point where I'll have to leave, and I'll be really sad. And it'll likely be when this dude raises the rent, because if he does it again, it's going to be brutal. We're paying almost $4,000 or something right now. Rat roll. Rat always filled it. Filled what? That sounds dirty. Rat roll, Binghamton, New York. I might have read that one. Audio tonight is not good, Eric. Not crisp, my man. Can't get the volume up. The bass is slightly muffled. Am I too far away from my thing? Yeah. I'll try to make it better. I mean, I feel like I'm doing this the same way I always do. I'm going to be bummed if that's the case. I mean, I've had 2 people tonight tell me that. Zebra is great. I've seen them a bunch of times, going back to the tell me what you want days. Rajiv, do you sell merchandise? I need to get more pics, and it's funny, there was a fan let me know that they never got their pics set. I finally got somebody who didn't get their pics set, and I'm gonna give him I'm gonna tell you who it is. Let me see. No, that's not it. God, maybe I won't. I don't want to put it. He doesn't mind me want that out there, but I was just gonna say it to let him know that I am gonna try to track down a pic set. I had friends. I think Marsha was like, "Do you want me to send him my pic set?" I'm gonna have to reorder those. I sold out of them, and I sold out right at like the end of the Pearcy thing. The last Pearcy shows, I didn't have pics, and I wasn't sure if I was even gonna be playing next year, and so I didn't want to be stuck with a bunch of like Stephen Pearcy rat pics or whatever sitting around here. So I just didn't reorder them, but now I have to, because there is going to be shows, and I owe this guy a pic set. This gentleman that never got his, that ordered off the Chris Aiken website. You will see some stuff, and I appreciate the support. Mr. Freddie Fargo. Sorry, just tuning in. I have to ask, did you hear about the Rat Motley Crue rumor? I heard it wasn't true. Yeah, I mean, I'm all slouched because now I feel like I'm not talking right in this thing, so I'm all close. Let me see here. It sounds like it could have been true, maybe, that something about Motley wanting a band, and it was, but it had to be all original members. I think that's the rumor you were talking about. Like, and that Nikki allegedly said something like, "Yeah, we wanted this band to go round and round, but they wouldn't," and that seemed like that was the giveaway. But I did not hear this firsthand. A friend of mine, Kim, had called me and mentioned it, so I'm just going off what she said. So I'm not sure. I thought officially it was Cinderella or something. That was the band. I don't know. Anybody else got info on it? Let us know. Jerome, anyone just love Hallmark movies? Oh my God, they're their own thing for sure. Like Hallmark holiday movies. They're not terrible, but they're definitely safe to watch with the girlfriend, that's for sure. I mean, unless you have some freaky girlfriend. Most of them don't like watching violent stuff or whatever, or scary, if it's too scary, or so. Hallmark movies are always a safe bet, especially for a date or something. Let me see. Saying Grimes, I'd personally love to see a wide array of Stephen's catalog, along with some influential covers. Yeah, I mean, we could run into the same problem as doing entire Rat albums with if we did too many solo songs, but I meant like, do 2 maybe. I mean, and I don't even know if we would do one of the older ones. I mean, maybe depending on how well received the new record is, play 1 or 2 of the ones off the new record, and then just, I don't know. You got to play a certain amount of Rat songs, right? I mean, I'd probably want to play like, I don't know, six Rat songs, and then some arcade, some covers, and some solo, and I think that would be fun. The cool thing about doing, a handful of the true RATT hits, and then some covers is they still all would know all the songs. When you start doing the whole entire albums, they don't know. They don't know the whole songs. Enchantedly Blue. Down is up 76. That is very cool. I wish I could have seen them back in the day. Wow. Oh, Scojo. What's up, buddy? Well, happy belated birthday to Scott Johnson. There's a lot of birthdays I noticed around late November, early December going on. That's cool. Maybe that's why I'm friends with a lot of these people. Rat and Roll. Love Sweet Cheater and Tell the World. Yeah, those songs too, he's always down for playing. It seems like any of the Mickey Rat or stuff that he had before Out of the Cellar, he loves all those songs. There's some cool ones on here. Rat Madness. Some of the ones that were like on this record we did. This Mickey Rat. Let me see. Some of the older ones, like You Got It and Sweet Cheater. Dr. Rock. That one's kind of cool. Have you guys ever heard Dr. Rock? Driving on E. I forgot how that went. I played guitar. I played rhythm guitar on all this stuff, and then they had some guests come on there. George Lynch, Tracy Guns, Mark Zavon. I did play. I think I played the solo on You Think You're Tough, and maybe the second half of Wanted Man. But again, back then I hadn't been in the band all that long when we did that. I wasn't the guitar player I am today. Okay. Let me see. Okay, yeah, YT is wacky with the rules and they keep changing. They do. They do keep changing. I mean, I haven't been hit with the strike yet. When the monetization thing was coming up, I kind of covered my bases. I only kept one song up that had a copyright thing, and that was All That I Want. Even though it's so weird, because I mean that's like my thing, but Stephen copywrote the song, so all proceeds go to him. They do go to me, actually. I do get, it's like a 50-50 thing with the streaming, I guess, on that song, so I would get half of the revenue, but it's not a song that's got millions of streams, you know. I mean, it's got like, what, 50, maybe 50,000. Not on mine. Mine only has 9,000 or close to it. You can kind of get an idea for those of you that don't know the monetization. It's like $18 to $20 per 1,000 views. So you could do the math on my videos and see that, like, I'm personally not making much money off a video, and it does take me like a whole work day at least to make one of those road vlogs. And right now I have about 30 videos up there, so that means that's equivalent to like working every day for a month and then getting paid like $300. It's you have to like consistently be getting 40,000, 50,000 streams. And God, I have no viral video, but that would be amazing to like have something that I put up that just kind of took off for whatever reason. But it's not as easy as you think, and the competition on YouTube is crazy. Especially with AI, there's creators out there that pay for, like, we use all the free shit, but there's AI engines out there that you actually pay for, and they will spit out content. And if you're good at giving it the prompts, it spits out this content. They use an AI voice, and these guys are putting out like 20, 30, 40, 50 videos a day on there. And it's trippy how you get sucked into watching them. Susan's the one who watches a lot of YouTube on the television out there. I never thought to really do that. I just look at it on my phone. But 70% of people watch it on their TV now in 2025. And I saw her watching some of that AI content. It was like, the topic was like feng shui or something, or some lifestyle content, and it just it had a smooth talking AI, and it would look to be real information for self improvement, right, or whatever. And I'm watching it, and I'm going, this is totally one of those ones that was spit out in a second, and here's a person getting sucked into it and watching it. Um, Susan's tastes are interesting. You know, the bulk of stuff that she watches is on her own, because some of it I can't do. Um, she watches there's a couple shows where these women do shopping, whether it's thrift store shopping or whatever. And I'm gonna take a sip of water, so I feel like I'm gonna cough. This one is like this that she watches all the time, and it's the weirdest thing. It's like a grandma, and she talks like this, and she goes to the store, and she goes every week, and she goes and looks through all the plates at the thrift store, and she finds, oh, and she has these like old lady hands, and she's always trying to film, and she's taking her hands, she's like, oh, look at this glass, oh, that would look great, and she goes and she buys the glass and goes back. She's made a show out of this, you know, where she just goes to the same thrift store in Canada and looks through the plates, then comes back, talks about how she talks to her daughter, you know, just like a typical grandma, you know, having a conversation like she's catching up with her sister on the phone, and that's what this is, and like Susan will just like have that on for like hours, and I'm like, and this woman also says, oh, look at this glass, it's pretty princess, it's a pretty princess glass. This woman has like 150,000 subscribers. I I don't get it. It's weird the niches that people get, but it's like a grandma fetish that Susan has, or not a fetish. I don't mean make it sound sexual. It's not. It's certainly not sexual, but maybe it's like a missing a grandparent thing that she has. Like she feels like she's, you know, got this grandma that she's like FaceTiming with or something. I don't get it. There's another one. This woman that shops at thrift stores, and this woman's like she's pretty. She's really skinny. She's super skinny, and the cool thing about when you're super skinny is you could just stack clothes on. And this chick's like a fashion kind of consultant of sorts, and her niche is to go down to this thrift store and try stuff on at the store and kind of say what you could do with it. But it's like so ridiculous, like how many layers of clothing she puts on. She'll like have some like sailor outfit on with some petticoat on top, and then another like crazy hat with birds on top, and you know, whatever. She just keeps stacking this on and still doesn't look fat. She'll put on like 8 things and like still look like this skinny lady. Like if I would look like a snowman if I did that, or at least the old me. The new me's 5 miles a day. Remember, it's like I'm shrinking into this sexy man. Oh, you just wait. Let me see here. Alright, we looked at that. Matt, think about what you want to say first before you type. Yeah, it's interesting on YouTube, I noticed it kind of gives you that chance to think about what you're going to say. Like you'll type something a little gnarly or spicy, right? And it'll go, are you sure you want to write that? And that's, I mean, in a way, that's a form, I guess, of censorship, but it's maybe a necessary one, because like I've been there where I'm about to leave a comment, right? And then it asks me, are you sure you want to do that? It sounds a little, you know. And I'm like, ah. And I think about it, it's like, hey, you're actually responsible for your comments on YouTube, and you could get in trouble, you know. So I ended up not leaving the comment. Generally speaking, like I can get as mad as anybody else. And I've joked around that it's funny that with firearms, how there's like a 3-day hold or waiting period when you buy one. Like I totally get that, because it's like clockwork. Like when I'm super mad at someone, in about 3 days exactly, I'm not mad enough to murder them anymore, you know, or whatever. Like it's not. I'm joking, of course. You know, but it's that 3 day. I feel like my whatever anger I have definitely significantly subsides on day 4. So That's kind of good. And yeah, when you type something, it's kind of there forever, and it can be embarrassing and come back to haunt you. Nothing's as scary as doing a live show, though. I mean, because here we are joking around, and I could say something that could definitely cause me issues. I mean, I could only hope that I'd get a chance to remove it. I mean, I haven't gotten any negative things as far as complaints or strikes or anything like that. Love what's happening. Down is up. The R&R Swami, Peter Grant was a badass. He was. He was. Travis, Nikki Six used a few pics of mine with no credit. Oh yeah, we talked about that. Let's see. David Carrasco, take a shot. Come on. All right, it's Fireball Friday. I'll do a little bit. I'm starting to feel it a little bit. Fireballs. Okay, I took your shot for you. I was going to say, if you guys pay me, I'll take a shot, but I forgot to say that first, so I took one for free. Travis, I thought it was cool, but you could have at least liked the photo. Oh, he didn't even like your photo, he just took it? Yeah, that's not cool. Stony Jackson, what's... Oh, hold on, let me go to my...
I know that, dude.
Yeah. Stony, I just had your comment. What, did I lose it already? No, don't tell me. No, it's up there. Duh. Stony Jackson. I'm definitely getting buzzed. Mike Portnoy used a photo I had taken of him with the winery dogs, but he did reach out first to ask. I said, hell yeah, that's cool. He's a fantastic drummer, Mike Portnoy. You know, he's somebody that's gotten some flack over comments, or, you know, Dream Theater caused him drama and people start coming to their own perceptions. I got to see him with Avenged Sevenfold, and it was pretty dope. I mean, he definitely played those songs really well, I have to say. Let me see here. Tom, people definitely age differently. Some had harder lives. Yeah, they did. I feel like just our parents and grandparents, none of them stayed youthful looking, right? They got beat down in life. It's really having kids. Like, I think, you know, most of our parents and grandparents had kids. I feel like it's our generation that had more people not having kids, like choosing to just be more. I don't want to call us selfish for it, but kind of. Let's see. Mark, been watching for a couple weeks. Love the stories and your content. Well, thank you. Thanks for sticking with me. I'm hoping I'll get better at this as it goes. I was never expecting to get into podcasting or having my own channel, and this has been a learning experience. Eric Green, LA Guns or Bad Bunny? I'm gonna have to definitely go with LA Guns on that. I always liked LA Guns, and I've got to tour with them. One of the funnest tours, LA Guns tours, was in 2005. The Metal Blast which was with Wasp and LA Guns and Stephen Pearcy. Did any of you guys see that? That was like one of my first bigger tours, and man, did I party! Woo wee! Ugh, me and Frankie were just off the rails on that one. Jay Lee, supposed to be a big announcement from Donnie V. Wonder if it has anything to do with Monaco. Hey, that would be really cool for them and him. It's possible. Let me see. Skylar, Bad Bunny will be playing the Super Bowl. Yeah, wow, a lot of drama around that, huh? There's supposed to be some other alternate Super Bowl thing happening. Some other concert. If you're angry about Bad Bunny, you could go watch this other concert. I don't really care. I'll watch it. I mean, as long as it's entertaining. Let's see, Tom. You can tell Steven enjoys touring with you guys. Steven is a down-to-earth real human. He's just a rock star. Yeah. It's like Stephen Pearcy. He puts his pants on one leg at a time. But once his pants are on, he makes platinum records. Right? So, something like that. Matt, Have you had any thoughts about your time after towing with Stephen? Oh, what's that? Like, we're just like, hey, buddy, will you tow with me? We're, yeah, when we're off the road, Stephen Pearcy and I have tow fights. We have tow wrestling matches. I think you meant touring, right? Like, I'm just busted. What am I going to do after that? Well, by that time, my podcast will be so huge, that I'll just be here in my bedroom, podcasting and such. I'll be making music. I'll be doing what I always do. I know that's another trippy thing. I'm like, holy crap, I forgot to get a job. I haven't truly worked in a couple of years, like anything outside of music. Like music has been paying the bills so far. I mean, not like I'm not collecting, I'm not printing money by by any sense, but somehow the universe is somehow taking care of me. I'm like totally just live without a net. I'm just like, I have no idea what's going to happen next. But the thought of having to go and work is just too much for me. I'll do it if I have to. I'll do it if I have to. Black Phillip. I'm a cat guy too. We got a black cat who's a boy named Sue. Well, that's interesting. Black cats are super cool, and that's good that you have one because they're not always adopted at the things, and people end up hurting them sometimes, and especially like Halloween time of year and stuff, weird stuff. So it's cool when a black cat could go to a good home. I had one for a while. His name was Kinky, and we named him because he had a little kink in his tail, and he was a super cool cat. But man, back then I was in my early 20s and not very responsible. And my girlfriend I had was I think she was feeding him or something, but I remember just not keeping the litter pan good. I had a litter pan out on the patio or something, and but I was not responsible. I'm sad to admit that. And then I got to a point where I couldn't even take care of him, and I asked my mom if she could watch Kinky for a bit, and she agreed, and I took him over there, but then he like disappeared from her house. Yeah, gone forever. And he was such a cool cat. Everybody liked him. Boy cats are great. I have girl cats, and it's like living with two women. It can be very demanding. Jay Lee, anyhow, Eric and Johnny are the two greatest in Rat Piercy since Robin and Warren. Well, yeah, I mean, that's a nice compliment. Well, thank you. Totally different. It's a different vibe. I'm happy that Warren is out there, and Carlos, man, life's short. You gotta get out there and meet your fans. And man, Warren's just one of those guys that had such an influence on my age group, and specifically the guys in their 60s, man, really went nuts. I mean, he just his guitars, they like buy his guitars, his iconic sword guitars and Frenchie and all that. Kevin Smith, what's up, Eric? I want to establish my presence on the channel like Eternal Servant. As Eternal, I haven't got to an Eternal Servant post yet. Stu Petty, why don't you use your Splawn amps on the road? I actually do. We were able to take my Splawn Quick Rod and put it into the Tonex pedal. So I basically went up to Matt's studio, and the Tonex, you can model a real amp, which requires microphones and everything. You have to like get your cabinet, and this device like does a whole interesting sequence to like clone the amp. It has its own like guitar players that you push a button, and then you start hearing all these styles of guitars start getting played through your amp while it's being recorded through the software. And by the time this thing finishes its sequence, it literally has your amp. It's like it sucked the soul out of it, just literally cloned it. It's like weird science fiction stuff. And then it's in the Tonex pedal. Literally, my amp is in there. And so what I do is when we go on the road now, I have my amp and I take it with me, and then it comes out of the effects send into the back of the amp, the Marshall or whatever they have for me, and I'm really just using the power from there. So it's just using the Marshall's power. It's bypassing the whole preamp section, and it's coming from that Tonex. It's really trippy and weird that it's able to do that. In fact, when I was in North Carolina, the Splon crew showed up to that show, and they let me. They brought a Splon for me, right? They brought a Nitro there, and Brian showed up, who does all their Tolexing on their cabinets, and he teched for me that night. It was super. He brought a Splon guitar for me to play that night, and I did. I played his guitar. It was set up nice, and I let Scott hear it. I had the Tonex going into the send, so he was hearing how I do it, and he was like, he was seriously like, I mean, I could tell it was like, wow. I mean, it probably wasn't good. Like, I was kind of embarrassed in a sense that I was doing that, but to me, it was a compliment. Like, I'm still using his amp and taking it with me. I bought his amps. I have, I bought 3 of his amps with my own money or whatever over the years. I have 4 Splon cabinets, speaker cabinets. I always suggest people go out. His guitars he makes are great. You will not be disappointed. And he has an amp for everybody. I mean, of course he makes the big, 100-watt amps, but he has like the small combo amps and everything, and they're all fantastic, and they're American-made stuff. You can't go wrong with it. But it was nice to be able to take this Splon with me, and if you go onto the Tonex site, you can find Matt's profile on there, and he's got the amp on there, so you could actually use my amp, but it's set up, it's pretty close to the gain structures that I would use, or whatever, but whatever. I mean, if you really wanted to be able to utilize the amp to its full capacity, you'd have to own the amp. You can only do so much. You could control a little bit of the EQing and the gain, but you would be able to control more of it if you had the actual amp. Excuse me, with you. Okay, moving on. Black Phillip. Ever have a paranormal experiences or tales of high strangeness in your life, Erik? Do you believe in the existence of extraterrestrials? These are great questions, and I'm going to have to take a drink first before I answer them, because the CIA is going to be here any minute to take me in. Hold on. Should I dim the lights and get a candle for this? Well, first of all, I don't believe that there's aliens coming from other regions of the galaxy or something. They're on their way. They're coming. Up, I see it. They're almost here. I don't believe any of that. Now, I do, however, believe that we might be on, the Earth might be different than what they told us, and we might be on a plane. There might be more land than what we're even told, and I could totally believe other civilizations being from this planet that are advanced from us, and I think their technology, or possibly even ancient technology, being utilized, and I think some of that ancient technology gets rediscovered, and a lot of times it's military. But one thing, with as far as if you want me to go like a quick alien story here, probably in the late '80s in Carlsbad, I was dating this total 80s blonde, big boobed rocker chick who at the time was just the happening looking whatever, quintessential '80s rock chick, and I remember we were hanging out. I was about, I don't know, 17 or 18 years old, and we were standing in front of my mom's house, and at this point my parents were divorced, but my mom was back in that house, and as I was talking to her, I see this craft above that was moving slowly, and it was like a, hold on, it was kind of like a blimp kind of shape almost, but on the bottom it had these circular like burner kind of looking things, like propulsion kind of looking pulsating color circles. Like I've seen drawings of such a craft before. I've seen like when you look up UFO stuff. This thing was quiet though. I wasn't hearing anything, and it looked like about the size of a blimp, but it wasn't a blimp. And I was just remember looking up at it, and it was going over our house, and it couldn't have been more than 1,000 feet in the air, and it looked like it was going towards the park that I've talked about, the park that me and my friends used to party at all the time, which was like about almost probably 3/4 of a mile east of my house. And I said to her, "Did you see that?" She's like, "What?" I'm like, "We gotta go." But one thing I'll mention, when that thing went past, I did see like two what looked to be military craft show up very soon after, which made it even more interesting. My first thought, I thought UFO maybe, but I go, this has got to be like a military craft or something. Although this was the late '80s, and I had never heard of us having something like that yet. So, anyways, we get to the park, and we're kind of hanging out there. We don't see anything. And this thing, excuse me, looked like it was going almost down or having some kind of difficulty and possibly landing over in that area. And we get over there, and then we had like a weird experience where it seemed like almost like time did speed up or something. Like it seemed like we were there longer than we were, or something like that, to that effect. But the weirdest thing that happened, all of a sudden, this dog showed up and was like friendly. We're like, "Oh, hey, puppy," and then another dog showed up, and we're like, "Oh, that's weird." And then another, and then no kidding, like at some point it was like about 9 or 10 dogs from the neighborhood all showed up, and were very like uh, not angry, but just like excited, or it was really starting to make us feel uncomfortable. And I remember at some point we're like, "Oh my god, okay, this is too weird," and we like actually took off and like we're trying to like get away, and they were all following us, and we got back to my mom's house. Literally, a couple of these dogs forced their way into the house, and we were laughing because we were high and shit. But like we got these dogs out. Looking back, I should have totally like looked at the caller and tried to call somebody. This was before cell phones or anything, and we were just high. I was just like, "Oh my god, a UFO and these dogs." We ended up just like pushing them outside and shutting the door. Like, "Oh my god, can you believe that just happened?" But that was just, I mean, that's the only kind of like UFO kind of story that it had the weird twist at the end. Like, what got those dogs all riled up? And then the kind of loss of time. And I say the loss of time thing because when we went to go see the UFO, it was daytime. And it seemed like when we got there and the dogs showed up, it was nighttime. And then I had this weird chip that's put in my arm right here. No, that didn't happen. There was no chip in my arm or anything, but maybe, I don't know. Maybe they did something to me. You're crazy! Or not. My Philip's got his little Martians in there. I'm not doing enough,
What are you people? On dope?
maybe. Jerome Davis. What happened to Golden Robot Records? Um, I don't know. I don't know. Did they court Steven and all? I thought maybe that might have come up for a second. And then, I mean, it seemed like during the pandemic, things kind of went awry with them. I don't know what happened. Cajun Hog. Congrats on your success, Eric. You deserve all the best. Oh, if you say so. Thank you. I appreciate that you feel that way. I mean, I always, well, God, man, I could have worked a little harder, or, it's not too late. I feel like I'm 53, but I'm not too washed up to where, I think I could stay out there easy for like another 5 years, but it's not like the old days where you could just eat whatever you want. And this, it's like, it's going to really take work to stay at a pro level as you age. Like, you have to really it's like a use it or lose it kind of situation with your talents. You know, you have to actually practice every day. You gotta exercise, and I mean, I'm going for it. I feel like this is like I'm going into my final battle, you know, and I'm just training for it right now. I got probably a couple months till I'm doing any shows, and I'm just like in training mode. Rajiv, I am a loser in love with JG and never get lucky. JG, is that initials of somebody? Let me see. Tom, would it kill you to play a little Foghat? Right. Jim Carrey, MTV Awards, 1999. Man, Foghat. They have no original members whatsoever, I believe, anymore. Whatever happened to Buckethead? I believe he's still doing stuff. I think he still goes around doing guitar clinics and what have you. He's an interesting character. I mean, you know, I guess it's been some time since Buckethead hit the scene, but you know, I feel like he was in Guns N' Roses around the same time that I was getting my gig with Stephen, like over 20 years ago, and I mean, he was just interesting. You know, he had the Bootsy Collins connection, and he would do break dancing and had the nunchucks, and I think he's cool, man. I like Buckethead's commitment to his character. And I don't know about him in Guns N' Roses. That was the weirdest acid dream. He was in that band. But he was. I mean, we had the videos, I guess, to watch. KFC bucking over his head, shredding wicked riffs. Yeah. He's also got the little button. He's got that little kill switch button on his guitar, so you can just like... Tom Morello has one of those also. Eric, what's up, dog? What's up? What else we got? What time is it? Oh, I've gone way too long. It's all downhill after 15, man. Hair Metal Guru, there he is. That's the man, the myth, the legend. He's here. Tom P505. Fucking 80s was the best, yo. Jerome, 80s, 90s, 2000s music, modern music, in my opinion. You're saying that the 80s, 90s music is better than modern music. Yeah, it was. It was made by real people. And that's why the soul's there. It's just not there now. Tom Petty was awesome, and you're not saying that just because your name's Tom. T-Cuz, were you in solo band for any Louisiana shows? I recall Stephen doing a solo show at a club in Cade, Louisiana, or maybe it was Browsford, Louisiana address. I think it was called Rainbow Club. If it was a Stephen Pearcy solo show, I would have been there. I mean, there was only a couple shows that I missed, and it was because of when I joined the band Earshot in 2009. I had told Steven, I'm going to go off with these guys, and that's going to be that. They had like all these tour dates and stuff. And then the whole tour just went to shit. Like, first, they had to rebook the whole tour because of a problem, and then, so there wasn't going to be as many shows. And then once I got out there, it was one of these situations where you had to trust that he was going to pay you at the end of the tour or something, some BS, but in about 2 weeks into it, I was like very agitated because even though my apartment back home was a shithole, I still had to pay the rent on it, and I didn't like. I'm not somebody who was like living at home and could just go out and play for free or just for compliments or something. And like, I started to get more and more of a problem for him, and the singer had ended up firing me, basically going, we're gonna send you home, whatever. They kept Marzi on guitars from Texas. He was the other guitarist, and they just finished out the tour without him. But where am I going with this? So I come back, and I of course call Steven, no, it turns out I'm not going on the tour. And what was funny is I had gotten Mark Zavon his gig back, which was like, what? So the guy, I took his gig in 2001. I was like, hey, Mark, yeah. And I don't even know what I was thinking on that. I guess I was thinking I know he knew the songs, but he wasn't gonna be the right guy for Steven just on a hanging out level. You know what I mean? So, but anyways, when Mark got that gig, and I told him that, okay, I don't need you to fill in for me. I'm gonna be there. He got very upset. He got very upset about it. He was very extremely angry about it, and he laid into Steven, and Steven was kind of against the wall. He's like, look, I told him he could play these shows, so I think there was maybe 2 weeks worth of shows that he did, and that's in the last like 25 years of the solo band. Those were the only shows I missed, about 2 weeks of them, and all the other ones it was totally me there. But he did allow me to come back and take my spot back, which was cool. Thomas Bailey, RATT was a premier band, never put out a bad album. Dancing Undercover was a little weak, lackluster, but otherwise great up through Detonator. Yeah, I mean, dude, they were spending like $1 million on every one of those records, and they had like Bo Hill, or they had these great producers. I'm not taking anything away from the band, but I'm saying it was like a big corporation machine at that point. You know what I mean? There was a lot of people like involved with it. Matt Volker, yeah, the age of the MAGA million rock star is pretty rare. MAGA million? Are we making rock great again? Neither. I don't know what Tom's talking about there. Is Bloss coming back after TSO? No, he's going straight from TSO to Santa Claus's Toy Factory to work on new Christmas music. No, yes, he's coming back. He's definitely playing the Pearcy DeMartini shows, and I would assume I don't know what's going to happen as far as the solo thing. I just know I was handed some dates, and it's no, but you're going to see both. Well, the people that are the diehard Warren fans are going to get to go see him, and our friends are going to get to see me too. Run DMC Tom, old school mofos. We still been listening to Sleep Token. Yeah, they're pretty good. What's the metal band where the guy just died that had all the tattoos? I thought they weren't too bad either. The dude that he died on his motorcycle or something recently. Maybe someone could throw that one out there. Mr. Freddie Fargo, don't miss that party train. Come on. It's got to be the Gap Band. Let's get real. Just kidding. Have a great night. What's somebody saying about Chris Hager here? Mayberry Mafia. Chris Hager's estate sale starts tomorrow for anyone who wanted to support his family. Okay. Let me see. So I did hear about something about Chris's estate sale. I mean, he had some cool amps and guitars. It's super sad. Chris was a pretty healthy guy. I mean, he could have lived another 20 years, man. It's a bummer. Matt, I think we're missing the MTV way of exposing bands. Well, we are and we're not. I mean, MTV was interesting because we would have to sit around and wait for the band to come on, or a cool band. Where now it's just like, what do you got for me? You can like stream. It's on demand. You can stream anything, anytime. You could hear about something. Now what they do is just the corporate model just forces it into your feed. You start seeing these bands show up, and they're shoved down your throat whether you like them or not. Youngblood. I was joking that Youngblood's finally like, canceled his shows. I would tell Chris Aiken, like, this guy, there's no way he could keep up this. I'm the to get him to the Greek party animal rock star guy. Like, he was just way too over the top. And I'm like, you can't keep that pace up. Eventually, you're gonna start, punching photographers and flipping out and being dicks to fans and everything. Warhammer can't get enough of the Ferentinos. Oh, hey, there's plenty to go around. Hey. Thomas Bailey, not to get back into it, but what I tried telling you last Friday was the club bar Great White played was playing like RATT's greatest hits during the pre-show. Okay, I know. I feel like Thomas thought I was like giving him a hard time. I mean, whatever you say, I'm sure it was. It was. That's cool. Whether it's Great White, Rat playing Great White doing Rat. I mean, it sounds like a good time to me. My wife and I want to see a show at the Surf Ballroom. The history of that place, crazy. Yeah. Um, I also did a road vlog on there. It was interesting. You know, the place itself. You could tell it's like an old venue from the 50s. You know, it had that vibe. But again, they make stuff so much better back then. It's still standing up, like still standing strong. Um, Somebody brought up a comment on my video today that's from there, that I guess my video popped up into her feed, and she had was telling me about the field. There's some memorial out in a field somewhere or something like that. That's cool to check out. I didn't realize that, or maybe next time. Matt saying bring back Headbangers Ball. I used to love the Headbangers Ball. I would tape it like every night and just watch the videos of it. Thomas, then Great White took the stage, and after the third song, Jav K or Jack, you should probably say Jack Russell. Jack introduced the Blots on drums, and they played 2 years in a row there. Anyway, well, that's cool. Yeah, maybe Blots did show up to jam drums. That sounds like it. I don't want to. I know you get mad, Thomas, when I go allegedly. Maybe he did know. You're like, he did. God damn it! But you need to believe me. I believe you. I don't know what to say. Can you find a video of that? It sounds interesting. I would like to see it. If you send it to me, I will play it. Are we live now, Uncle Droney? Yeah, yeah. Um, Let me see. Mr. Frey, no offense to Jason Green. Enjoy the show. But who would bother to stalk him? I don't know. Everybody. Raheem Gupta. Jason is beautiful. Okay. Um, Matt Volker. Uh-oh. Oh, is this, was that the stalker you guys were talking about? Um, un, Unrequited love. Well, that,
Those guys are fags!
um, Mike Crawford. Hey, Eric, going to see Quarantine tomorrow, Reading, PA. Really miss hearing the 80s Kiss tunes. Nice. Is that, does Quarantine do Kiss songs, Mike? Is that what's happening? Have fun. Um, Thomas Bailey, the GNR song Nothing sounds pretty weak. I think it's old demos from Chinese Democracy. Just saying, listened to Atlas yet. I haven't heard any of this yet. I'm gonna check it out though. I'll check it out. Okay, Thomas, audio sounds on point to me, but I have Skull Candy earbuds in. Well, I think the other gentleman had Poo Candy earbuds in. Haven't had a house payment for over 25 years. Well, good for you. That's the way to do it. And I can tell you don't live here. Um, Rat, Sean Kingston. Um, so did you get permission to use Death Row Hat on your podcast from Suge Knight? Does he own it still? I mean, I would have thought he probably would have had to sell it, right, or something. I mean, if he owned it, did he even own it? I don't remember. Mayberry. Yes, they also tried to get Cinderella back together, but Tom Kiefer declined. Oh, so you're saying Mayberry Mafia is saying that they went to Cinderella and they went to Rat. I think it's interesting that Motley's finally come to terms with who they were, as opposed to like, it seemed to me like in recent years they didn't want to associate with any of the other 80s bands. Like the thought of them going out with a Rat was not what they wanted to do. They wanted to have like a newer band opening up. They wanted to be perceived as still relevant or something like that. And now that I feel like those guys are now in their late 60s, they're like, okay, do it, let's get Rat or Cinderella or these bands, which I don't know. It's interesting. It's cool though. I mean, that's who knows. Maybe maybe they could get Stephen Pearcy on some. I don't know. No, it sounded like they were saying they want the whole OG guys or nothing. I agree with Stephen. There is no Rat without Robin. Well, there's definitely been a Rat without him, but it hasn't been the same. That's for sure. Motley isn't touring with all original members, so why should they expect other bands to do it? Well, I mean, come on now. It's just one. It's just Vic Mars is the only one out there. But it is not the same. I mean, as much as John Five is a terrific guitar player, and I think he's got a cool look, I don't know. I mean, again, we're back to having opinions, right? But being an old school Motley fan that is very familiar, with their work and catalog of mixed guitar work, I mean, I can tell it's not quite the same. I mean, he is playing it correctly and he's there. I think I just feel like the band doesn't have real amps on stage or something. Like, it's just something that's not the same as it used to be. That I'm not feeling that rawness that the Crew shows used to have. Did you like Sleaze Bees? How about Slick Toxic? Those bands were okay. I think by the time they were out, I was just into heavier stuff for a while when I was like in my tweens or late teens, and then I got into like Jane's Addiction and Nine Inch Nails, and I don't know, it's interesting bands like that. Or maybe they wanted Skid Row. I thought their name did come up too. Thomas Bailey just ruling the chat tonight. I have a friend who did posts about riding Harleys, couldn't hardly get views. Then he started making Cats shorts. He just hit over 3 million. Woof. Yeah, they're really pushing people to do the shorts thing. I hate it because for shorts, you have to like have your phone like this. And it annoys me to look at that view like that. Like, they're assuming that everybody's looking at this on their phone, and they're not. They're 70% of the people are watching stuff on TV, but they're trying to like compete with TikTok and this, so they're really pushing the shorts. They're telling that to creators too. But I haven't personally started doing that. I just got this Canva app that a lot of content creators use. And apparently I can turn my videos that are like this into this to make it into a short, because there is a lot of things to try to bring more people into this channel. But what really does the best is you guys sharing my videos on Facebook or whatever. Just say, hey guys, check out this video, check out this channel, and it'll bring in people, and our party will be getting bigger and bigger. T-Cuss, Grandma, what was it like? Oh, Grandma found the pretty princess plates at the thrift store. John Evans, yeah, my wife of 35 years watches whatever she wants in her room, and I watch totally different shit in mine. Chicks just dig different stuff. We both agree on herb. Well, that's good, man. I know, we have to focus on the things that we do agree on and stop worrying about the stuff that we don't. Tom from MySpace. Thank you, Tom, for showing up. Where have you been? Eric, you are the greatest of all time. Well, thank you so much. MySpace Tom, haven't seen you in years. I know. I was like, wow, he is still around. He's still got the same photo. Let me see here. Okay. Eric, just curious, are you a Stranger Things fan? I dug the first seasons of it, yes. And like most people, I feel that they just waited too long, right? Between releasing this last episode, this last season. I just tried to watch a couple of them, and it was too much underworld stuff going on. It lost the 80s feel that it had in the first couple seasons, and they're just going straight for the hell stuff, and all the kids look older now, and they're just not as cute. I don't know. It's all right. John Evans, hated you weren't with Steven at Vamp's closeout in Vegas. Aw, yeah, that was Well, it is what it is. But Vamped, rest in peace. I've certainly played my share of shows at Vamped, and you know, um, it was fun. Corey, great, and account, yeah, cool dude. He was really nice to me too when we played. I remember one time we played Vamped, and he it called me off. Like they're like, yeah, he wants to talk to you, and like he pulled me back into some his booth or whatever. And he's like, "Who are you, man?" He was like, he was impressed with me or whatever, and he was being cool, super cool to me. And of course, I watched Counting Cars and had, you know, was familiar with them. And in those situations when I get to like sit down with somebody kind of famous, it's always like I get a lot of anxiety because I'd like start overthinking like what I should say, or it's not good. I mean, I guess if when I spend more time with a famous person, like if I'm in a band with them, I feel more comfortable. But when I'm having to sit down with a famous person, I blow it like every time. I feel like, but where I blew it here, he gives me a shot, right? It's like a shot of some barrel of whiskey that's supposed to be really old and rare and whatever, and he lets me try it, and it tasted awful, and he goes, "So tell me, what'd you think?" And I thought, is this a test? This is where I overthink shit. I'm like, I'm thinking that he's testing me by giving me a total dog shit shot of something to see if I'm like a yes man, or see if I'm like, oh yeah, it's phenomenal, But I was like, I don't like it. It tastes bad. He's like, what? And like, I don't know. I think I kind of bummed him out, and I don't know, dumb count story there. Eric, are you a reggaeton fan? I am more so now. There's so much music that I didn't quite get at first when I moved to California, that now is very comfortable to me. Reggae, I'm totally down with when I hear it. Also, like traditional Mexican music. Like I always was like tripping out how the age groups of Latinos that listen to that, because it's like polka music in a lot of. It's like polka music with gangster rap over it, if you speak Spanish. But when I first would hear that, it would crack me up because I would see a young Latino dude pull up, and you'd hear that music, and you go, I'm thinking like, why would he listen to that? I mean, that's like equivalent to like a teenager pulling up and listening to like Lawrence Welk or something. Like I didn't get it, but now that I've lived in California for like over 40 years and I'm so accustomed to hearing it, I feel a comfort from it, and it doesn't bother me in the least, I'm totally down with it. I can sit there with Mexican music playing in the background forever, like drinking beers and stuff. And reggae is like that too. Like I get it now where it's chill. Like I didn't get it before I got high, but now that I do, I'm like, oh yeah, reggae is the best. Um, Thomas Bailey. I read Stephen's book, and when he talked about getting hit by a car as a kid, and he was in the hospital for like the biggest part of a year, but I call BS when he said the nurse straddled him. I didn't get that far in his book. Did he say that? That's interesting. Nurses are horny toads, Tom. I have heard that, John Evans. Yeah, I've heard that they're the most like loosest crowd, next to probably waiters or waitresses or something. But Rico, Eric, aloha. Well, aloha, Rico. Um, my cat, Thomas said, my cat is part Maine Coon. She is getting strung out on Temptations catnip treats. Like always jumping on the counter cabinet. I begging when I enter the kitchen. Okay, I'm going through that too, Thomas. It's not with the catnip ones. It's with the shrimp ones, which are kind of a newer bag. They were always like into treats, but it seems like they started getting really aggressive once I switched to this shrimp pink bag of shrimp treats, Temptations. These cats are starting to get very demanding. Like they're demanding one on the hour, and I'm going, man, what kind of crack did they put in these? Kitty crack. Oh wait, is that Neely? Hold on a second. CMS Neely, at what age did responsibility kick in, or has it yet? We all know musicians aren't responsible. There's a new generation, Neely, of responsible musicians, I guess. I mean, the ones I always known were notorious for having to like live on the couches of strippers and stuff. But now those days have changed. Everybody's a podcaster now, making their like bedroom guitarists with like millions of subscribers. Mr. Freddie Fargo, I'd like to establish my presence as well, and thanks for all the great videos. Oh, awesome. Well, Mr. Freddie, thank you for establishing your presence, asserting your dominance, maybe burping really loud, whatever. Matt Volker, see your heroes while you still can, because you don't know what will happen. Yep, that's true. Spicoli is saying
I know that, dude.
he is actually an alien. Well, that's interesting. And what are you, like an alien from planet Earth, or are you an alien from another dimension, or what's going on? Matt Booker, Eric, have you seen the movie Paul with the guys from Shaun of the Dead? I have to watch Paul. I love those Shaun of the Dead, and that those two guys together are great. I love all those movies. But I have to. I think I saw Paul, but I can't remember it. For whatever that tells you. Eternal Servant, you are here. Hello. I was slapped by a gray, but not scary at all. It can't go through all. Somehow it changes into particles. Well, that's very interesting. We'll have to hear more about this, Eternal Servant. So you're saying a gray alien slapped you. Where did this occur? I mean, what scenario was this? Was this in your neighborhood, or what's going on? I swear I saw the ISS International Space Station back in like 91 on a clear June night. It was low in orbit. Yeah, man, we're already like over 2 hours, so it's probably the longest live show I've done, but now you guys are getting into the good shit. So I'm one of those people that don't believe in the ISS space station. However, I do believe that they have something that's much closer, that's smaller and closer, that they're like either towing or something like that. And people do see something up there. But I don't think that there's actually a space station that human beings are on, because it would be a death trap. It's just, when you stop for like a minute and start like looking at what they're telling you this place is, it would be the most miserable existence you could think of. I mean, what do they have, like 12 people or more on there at any given time? Think about all those people just having to take a crap every day. Like, what would be involved with taking a crap, and how smelly it would be. And you can't just like open a window or just start spraying poop spray or whatever, like. And that's some like things to, of course, think about. But when you look at them themselves, like all the propaganda videos that they make, they are doing with our money, our tax money. They're just wasting it up there. I mean, for one, these guys, like, I don't know if you've watched any of their NASA space station footage, but they have all these like stupid costumes they've smuggled onto there. It seems like they always have the winning Super Bowl team shirts already. The dude's up there with a guitar. There's like an ape chasing a guy around up there. It's just like a ridiculous thing. And like, all they try to do is keep showing you what they can do with water. They're like, if we weren't really in space, do you think we could do this? And then they like squeeze, and you see some like water globule or something like that. Basically, what I've ascertained over the years is that they have gone through a couple different ways of faking being up there on this thing. And they used to do like parabolic air maneuvers where they would like drop down, and you would get 0 G for a while. Then they quick film, do a flip, and they would do these. You would see a brief moment of them doing something that it would seem like you'd have to be in zero gravity to do. Of course, now with CGI, it's way easier to fake that kind of stuff. And there's nothing that they're doing that's impressive. Like, the top things they try to prove to you that they're really up there is doing the water globule thing, and then doing this flip where they stand there and they go, "Watch me," and they do this flip, but they're like clearly on wires, and they're totally green screening that shit. Like you could see it glitching out. So there's that. There's the fact that just the radiation and stuff up there. No, no, this thing is not real. If you're supposed to like believe that it's flying like 17,000 miles an hour out there, really, and then you believe, hey, I saw it. Well, okay, I'm not saying that you didn't see it, but I mean, do you ever like stop and go, how the hell did you see something going 17,000 miles an hour, right? Do you know how fast that is? It's 17,000 miles an hour. It's interesting. I hope I'm not like bursting everybody's bubble for the first time. But I love how like whether it's I mean, if you've watched me, I've on Chris Akins Presents, I've totally told you I don't think we've any country's ever been to the moon, and I can pretty much shut it down really fast. The Van Allen belts that surround the Earth, the radiation from those is so intense that nothing can get through it. I mean, certainly not humans, but even machines. Like when you're in that kind of radiation, nothing works. Your shit's not gonna work. So they can't get past those. The other thing is, we were always taught in school that space is a vacuum, right? Like, oh, it's the vacuum of space. No one could hear you scream in space, right? Because of the vacuum or whatever. Well, one thing I found out later was like, humans can't be in a vacuum, okay? Because what happens is, like, if you put water in a vacuum, it boils, okay? And if you stop and think about what humans are mostly made up of water, so if they were in any kind of actual vacuum of space, that their blood would boil. When it came to like the astronauts, the Apollo astronauts and stuff, when you start breaking down their equipment and stuff like that, they did not have stuff to protect them from these elements. You know what I mean? They tried to act like they did. Oh yeah, they had this like air conditioning system, but no, man, it's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. And I love how when people go, well, if it's bullshit, then how did all these other countries keep it a secret? But then you believe that all these countries have a space station together, an international space station, so they're willing to all come together to make a space station, but they're not willing to all agree to lie about something. You're confusing me, guys. You're confusing me. Okay, of course, it's the military, okay? All these space agencies are under the umbrella of the military, and their job is to lie to you, okay? So let's stop acting like you can trust these people. You cannot. I'm just gonna like lay off on that because I don't want to lose a bunch of fans. Do you take Norvasac or Lepressor for your heart condition? I have my medications right here, sir. You know what? I'm going through a phase where I'm starting to not take some of these. I got Coreg, Cozar, low dose aspirin. Now, there's this Lipitor that they have, right? And I've been taking this for like 3 years. And I do notice that, especially when I first started taking it, I was really out of it, And when it turns out, it's like the cholesterol that it's limiting, your brain needs cholesterol. So one of the bad like side effects is it kind of can create like early dementia and stuff. And it kind of have you guys seen the movie Old with M. Night Shyamalan? His movies never disappoint. This one wasn't as popular as some of his other ones, but Old has a really interesting plot, and it's basically the movie is showing you how corrupt and evil Big Pharma is at the end of the day. But if you haven't seen this movie, it's basically there's this like island getaway, and there's these different families that kind of like won a trip or something to there. And you find out the reason why they won these trips, why these families were picked, is because every one of these family members had some kind of underlying medical issue going on. And what this company would do, this big pharma science company, they would get you to go out to this island, and then they would basically send you out to the beach. Where we picked a big, nice picnic for you, for your family, to go out on the beach. Yeah, you won this. And they're like, why are you giving us this big basket of food? And they're like, oh, don't worry, you'll see. And they send them down to this spot. Well, it's like a kind of almost supernatural spot where it speeds up time. Like one day is like, well, like an hour is like a month or something like that. Something ridiculous like that. And the benefit to the company is they can then test their drugs and quickly find out what's going to happen to the human. So it's like the ultimate way for Big Pharma to test their experiments to an unknowing group of humans. And all this story, I mean, it's fictional, but it's really not. Like, he kind of points out what they're willing to do and what laws and safety protections they're willing to sidestep in the name of and it was really interesting. At the end, everything goes. You have to watch this movie because, of course, it's just chaos with them aging all fast and everything. Like, these two young kids meet this little like boy and this little girl, and next thing you know, like 2 hours later, they're having sex and they had a kid and it's born an hour later. You know, it's like it's pretty insane. The most interesting is right at the very end. This one woman dies, and back at the science lab, this guy's all, everyone, stop working. I just have to let you all know this. As you know, our job's difficult because we try to come up with all these things and they don't always work, and you know, sometimes things go bad. But once in a while, we come up with something. And as you can see here, Maggie went a whole 40 years without an epileptic seizure. Of course, ultimately this drug killed her, right? She was like foaming at the mouth and dying on the ground. And I feel like some of these drugs we're taking, yeah, maybe that does take my cholesterol down, but to what's the downside? I mean, I didn't even think about it. When I had my heart attack, I was like, okay, I want to live, whatever you say, blah, 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 give me that stuff. And I was taking it, but I was like leaving my guitars outside of the room. I was like out of it. It was like a struggle to like keep my head on straight. And I think it's because of that. Like I knew it said it may cause dizziness, and make sure you take this when you're sleeping at night, and eat this with food, take this with food. But I'm starting to see that they're saying, yeah, early onset dementia is caused by this because it's draining all the cholesterol out of your brain. Well, I mean, how about we just stent me up when I need it, and I'll try to like exercise more. They pressure you though. I remember like asking them, like, oh, do I really need to be on all these? And I remember it wasn't even my regular doctor. Like the standing guy was there, and he was kind of a dick. He's like, yeah, you do got to keep taking them. And he's like, no, you exercise, none of that works. Nothing you could do diet wise or exercise is going to work as good as that pill right there. And he was like super confident about it, and I'm just like, I felt like he like strong armed me into like taking this. So you know what? Whatever. You can tell me whatever. I just recently, like a week ago, I go, fuck it. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go ahead and not fucking take that pill, and I'm gonna see what they say, like when I take my next blood test. If they go, man, your cholesterol levels have really shot up, then I'll go, oh shit, okay, and then maybe I'll go back to it. But I have this weird feeling they're going, yep, everything looks good. I have a feeling they're gonna say that. I don't know why, and I don't know why I'm playing around with my health, but the prospect of getting like early on-stage dementia, fuck that. Buckethead is killing it. Look up his recent gigs at the Caverns in Tennessee. That's from For the Doggies Guitars. Okay. Let me see. T-Cuz, we never hear from you enough. Wow, so you played with Marzi briefly. I'm familiar. Heavy as Texas. Marzi is a beast with the picking hand. Total dime-bag disciple. Phil Anselmo on the Illegals guitar also. Yes, T-Cuz, that's what I'm talking about. Marzi, he and I played in Earshot together, and we are still cool to this day. When we played Houston late last year, he showed up to the gig, and we got to hang out. We're now like friends on Facebook. But that was a rough run in that Earshot thing. He also got screwed over in that. I was like taking care of him out there. I had brought some weed with me, and I had some money, and I was actually feeding him out there. Like we were getting no money. It was like we were 2 weeks in, and like I'm feeding Marzi. It was fucking bullshit, you know. And I started getting I demanded it. I'm like, I don't care what uh, arrangement you have with any of these other guys. Because he tried to do an intervention or something. They like all brought me in this room, and they're like, so tell us what's up. You know, they were all like giving me my last chance to like pull it together. I'm like, I do not give a fuck what you are gonna pay me at least. I mean, it was sad. I was like, dude, you gotta at least give me $100 a show, dude. I don't care. I mean, that was like my at the time, 2009. That was like the bare minimal. Like I felt like a prostitute. You know what I mean? Like if I have to do that, it's like, I'm not doing it for $100. I mean, I expected more per week, but I mean, I had already knew there wasn't going to be a lot of money involved. But then when you don't give it to me at all, that's going to be an issue. I'm not that guy. You don't want to get me out there and think I'm going to go along with it. I will not. Youngblood, is he legit or a poser? Bubblegum Rock. Saw his version of Changes at Final Farewell show. Just wondering. That was a pretty great song he did. He's been groomed for success his entire life. He's like a Nickelodeon of the UK guy, and they've tried a couple different looks on him, and now they got him in that, you know, cool The Crow meets Billy Idol thing, and he's, you know, a beautiful young guy, and he's got just, you know, a right. He's I don't know how contrived it is or not, you know. He was up at Johnny Depp's studio recently, and he was doing the Aerosmith thing, and my friend got to see that go down, and he said he's just like that. And we're like, yeah, mate, you got to do this. Come on, mate. You can do it. Come on, Steven Tyler. You know, no singing up here. You know, it was like he's apparently on 10 all the time. That's really him. But as of late, he had to take some time off. Have you talked about Monaco? I think I might have read this one already. I haven't reached out to him, so I don't know. Johnny's his own dude. He doesn't do anything for you. If he's gonna do something, he's gonna do it on his own time, his own way. Hello from India. All right. Freedom Fire. I got a bail. Still working to finish my EP. Good show tonight, brother. All right. I know I went like way. This is almost a 3-hour show. This is ridiculous. Everybody's leaving. Okay, well that means if I didn't miss anything, did I? Okay, we're done. We're done, guys. That was a good second month into the streams, everybody. Thank you so much for being here tonight.
What are you people? On dope?
We can only hope. I'll see you guys next Friday. I'll get another road vlog video out as well. So, yeah, be cool, be kind to each other. Have a great week coming up, and we will see you soon.